It's that button. How's it going, everybody? And welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator stream. Happy Wednesday. We're getting through it. We're nearly there. It's almost Friday. I can feel it. I do hope you guys are keeping well and you're keeping safe and warm and maybe dry if the weather's acting up. As I try to move my mic arm to a position that I won't keep whacking off it. Anyway, we have Peoples here. Hello, Peoples. So, what are we doing this evening?
Hey, good morning.
As Ludus is now following. Many thanks, my dude. So we have a new update in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. They've just released a patch. So I'm running on 1.7.14.0. And that's kind of good. So let us talk about it briefly, shall we? The patch came live either last night or this morning, depending on where you guys are situated. And the main things that they did, they fixed a few stability issues. Basically, there was a crash with the TBM. If you deleted the TBM, the whole sim would crash. If you're connecting joysticks or keyboards or whatever else, it would crash. They fixed that. Seemingly, they fixed all the installation issues people were having. Now, I don't know if that's going to lead to faster install times, but certainly, you know, like the screen just kind of hanging on, looking at you, just hanging on, looking at you. That should be fixed now as well. The content manager, the title will no longer automatically download packages that have been deleted. The content manager will no longer get stuck in an infinite loading state, and the creator name of the packages should now be properly updated. Seemingly they did some sort of a fix for SimConnect. I didn't get a chance to check that one out yet, so I'll have a look at that maybe later on. And a small bit of optimization, which is always good. I like optimization. And then they have the correct currency is now properly updated over in the marketplace. So kudos to Microsoft and Asobo for releasing a patch, I would think. So with that said, they mentioned optimization, so I said, okay, let's see how well it's optimized. So we're on the ground here in Essex County, New Jersey. We're going to fly over the Big Apple, over Manhattan, and we're heading out to a little place called Block Island. Kilo Bravo, India Delta. And that's where we're going to start some multiplayer action. And then we're going to go from Block Island, we're going to head north up past Boston, and then we're going to head up to Beverly Regional, which is a really cool little airport just north of Boston itself. So that's the plan. So let's see what happens, shall we? So far, the internet is behaving itself. I like that. Time to say hello to some peoples, as Paddy140 is now following. Many thanks, Paddy. So we have Philip Breen here. Good evening to you, Philip. Streamflight, welcome aboard. Ian Bennett is here. Matthew Heeds is here. He says, hello, bud, what's the crack? The crack is only mighty. I hope you're keeping well, though. Kenneth Naughton is here. Ludos is here. Philip, we said Philip, but sure, we'll say it again. Lucy Marshall is here. The Geek Brun Lee is here. Good evening to you, my friend. I hope you're keeping well. Cloverfield 911 is here. He says, did you watch David Blaine over the Glen Canyon page today? I didn't see it yet, but I must. Fire is here from K-Rock. Good evening to you, dude. Ben McClure is here. Cue the cringy music. You've no idea, man. And that took ages to make. I'm watching having a cider, bummers in a golf club. My game won't load, only a black screen with a loading wheel, and mouse couldn't play it either. That sucks. But maybe it'll be fixed with the new patch. Let's hope. The Scale Model Doc is here. Good evening to you. Patrick Cullen has slipped in the door. How's it going, Patrick? Keen Farrer is here. He says, yo, I'm back. How are you? All good, my friend. SK Sun is here as well. I loaded up Keflavik after the patch, and sadly the sim still crashes to desktop. Oh, that's too bad, dude. The Scale Model Doc says, can you land at Shannon? We're very far away. Production Sa is here. Astro Chases is right. How are you keeping? Shannon is the nearest airport to me, says Lucy. Robin is here as well. Hello, Murphy. Yes, you are streaming again, and you are making my chilly evening great again. Nice. Andy Henderson is here as well. He says, I found that it's created lines cut into clouds running north to south. That can't be good. Care85 is here. Welcome aboard. Good evening to you. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be one of these evenings. Let's hope everything works well. Mal Walsh is here as well. How's it going? Sir Blackie a lot. Good evening to you. Sir Blackie a lot made a fantastic Cessna 172 Irish Air Corps / Two-Tone Murphy / Sir Blackie a lot livery. I really like it. It's awesome. It's on over on Discord if you guys want to check it all out. Mark Dixon is here as well. How's it going, Mark? All is good, my friends. The Colonel has arrived. Good evening, Colonel Fork. He says, take to the skies. Dude, I saw your DC3 and I'm just like, the Colonel just made a DC3. I can't wait to see that thing. Daza T. Arab is here. Good evening, Daza. Hope you're keeping well. Who else have you got? Just loads. Have you nothing else to do on a Wednesday evening? Stephen Coughlin is here as well. He says, looking forward to tonight's flight. Where are we? We're on the ground here over in Essex County, which is Kilo Charlie Delta Whiskey. I know very little about this little airport, but it looked nice, and it's kind of just in New Jersey, a little bit kind of northwest of New York, so we said, sure, we'll give it a shot. So let's see how it all goes. Ethan Short is here as well. How's Bono getting on tonight? Very well. I got new glasses, and I can't wear them yet. I'll wear them maybe some other time. Maybe if I drink more of my tasty beverage. But they're like these, right? Only bigger, but they're really orange, and like they're super relaxing on your eyes. But you just look like a complete and utter dope with them on. So I said I'd go for the Bonos. Jerry B is here as well. Murphy, I tried the game at 2 p.m. today and it wasn't updated. I'll try when I get in from work. So you got to update it from the Microsoft Store first, or if you're on Steam, update it in Steam first, and then you should be good to go. So yeah. Joel Edwards is here as well. He says, hello from York. Hello from Ireland. In America, but in Ireland, if you get me. I want to give a quick shout out to some of the members here over on the YouTube who signed up. As C-Expra, or is it Crossba or Cobra? It could be anything, but we'll go with Cobra. Many thanks for the follow, dude. So S. Voigt, Scott Voigt, Nvidia Crusader, Ludos, and Jim Oates. A big shout out to these wonderful people who are supporting the, they support the channel really, and that'll enable me to enable us to have different aircraft and airports moving along as we do. Uncle Rise is here as well. How's it going? Minty Aviation. Hello from Southampton. Hello, Minty. Irish Pilot is here as well. Cabra. Instead of Cobra. Cobra is me. Cabra. I see what you did. Under 737's coming, says the scale model doc. Yes, there is. So we jump down here to our little machine. This will be interesting with the internet and optimization. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. So hopefully it doesn't all stutter and break as we jump down into our little machine here. And Johnny's back in the Proud. He's there looking after the tow cart thingy that the wheels don't move. I wonder, did they fix them? Ludo says, did you see the F-18 and the Mustang for the sim? I did. Joel Edwards says, have you done any flying in Spain yet? I'd love to see what Benidorm looks like. I did a small bit of flying. I took off from Almeria and I flew around. Where did I go to? I flew up to Alicante. And yeah, it's good. It's very good. I remember Pilots did a add-on in X-Plane for LEAM, which is Almeria Airport, and it was very, very good. But you have to download Ortho. With this, you just fly it out of the box. It's quite good. Ethan says, still waiting for the release on Xbox. I say it'll be released next-gen console, so I'm going to get that instead of a PC. Each to their own. But yes, that's a good idea. That is certainly a good idea. Keen Leffert says, hello Murph, it was my first day back at school. It feels like a million years ago. 258 days to the Eurovision, by the way. Cheers. I don't know how, but your sim looks amazing. It's the Bono glasses, lads. It's purely the Bono glasses. Ben McClure says, have you been in Newton Ards Airfield yet? I think yeah, we have. And it's grand, right? It's totally grand. So we're going to get our battery and alternator switches here. Turn our fuel shut-off valve to in. engage our parking brake, get our beacon light, and sure, we'll turn on our nav lights for the crack here as well. Now, Johnny, you don't move. You just stay looking out that direction. You're keeping sketch to make sure there's no one else coming in. As she said to the bishop. So yeah, this is a pretty little airfield. And I will say, flying in the States, they have photogrammetry for a lot more, obviously, in the States than they do anywhere else that I've seen so far. And the difference from autogen versus the photogrammetry is just like, man, it's amazing. So, let us see. Alan Brogan is here. He says, are you going to try FS Economy? I surely will. DC-10 on GA, says Eden. As Shivam has donated 200 over on the YouTube, on the Super Chat. Many thanks, my dude. He says, great streams. Cheers. Well, cheers and sláinte to you too, my friend. Thank you very much. Ah, tasty beverage on a Wednesday night, no less.
Appreciate the comeback, good money.
As there's a notification. I got rid of the double volume thing. I did something productive today. I was late home from work and I was under all sorts of pressure, but it's grand. Anyway, you guys want to see this place and I'm here waffling on the ground. So we're going to go mixture rich, about 1/8 of an inch on our throttle gadget here. We can put our fuel pump to on. We're getting a positive rate on our fuel flow. Turn this guy off. If we could open the window, we'd say clear prop, but we can't, so we shan't. Turn our mags to both, clear prop. There's the start. Keep the RPMs just below 1000. That looks about right. And we'll lean our mixture here for avoidance of fouling the spark plugs. Otherwise, it'll be kangaroo petrol once we get going. So turn on our strobes and landing lights just for the sheer crack of it. Joel says, after seeing how good the sim looks on here, I worry about the disappointing on console, but it'll be a lot cheaper. Yeah, but again, how the sim looks here versus how it's going to look, avionics here, Murph, and how it's going to look, it depends a lot on your internet connection, I would think. Like certainly the graphics and the capabilities of what a PC can do, possibly with the lighting and maybe achieving frame rates, it's kind of hard to know. Ian Bennett says the photogrammetry looks brutal up close though. It does probably, but again, guys, I found that if you download an area first, so if you're, you know, the cache, not as in cash as in money, but the cache or the cache or the cache as we call it. If you download an area into your cache, it's kind of an easy way of working around having to download or live stream all the data. So there is a way to do that. Blue Streak Simulations is here. He says, hey. Luda says, I've nearly all maxed out in the sim and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look as good as yours. It's the Bono glasses, has to be. Okay, so we've set our barometric pressure here. Engine's ticking over here nicely. We're going to set an initial 2,000 feet into our autopilot system. We're on squawk 1200, which is VFR. We're flying in uncontrolled airspace. There we go, altitude mode. So yeah, GPS. Double check our little flight plan here to make sure we know what we're doing. KCD. Okay, let's go with that. I have a map here, look. So if we open our map and bring this guy over here so you guys can see it. The Chasman is here. He says, where are you going today? Hang on, I tell you. So with our little map here, come hither. So we're on the ground, as I said, over here in Essex County. This be New York City, Manhattan Island. So we're going to cut down to Manhattan, have a look at the sights. I don't know, seemingly there's like things to see down there, some sort of a tourist attraction perhaps, or some sort of scenery in this city. And then we'll ramble across, and we're going to this little area here. It's called Block Island. And I only know of this area through X-Plane because they released a add-on airport for it. And then once we get to Block Island, we'll open it up to multiplayer, because just multiplayer flying around New York, we're just not going there tonight. Then we're going to go from Block Island and we're going to head north then up to Beverly, which is just north of Boston. So it'll take us about 1 hour to get over to Block Island, and then about 1 hour to get up to Beverly. So that's the plan. Katharma is here. How long is the flight? So in total about 2 hours. Cloverfield says, hey, silage. Tasman says, Block Island, I have sailed there. Nice. Awesome, dude. Okay, so parking brakes are going to come off. Add a bit of oomph into our machine here, just to get the ball rolling. And, okay, so the ground is bumpy, but we'll ignore that. It's totally fine. Really fine, totally fine. Nothing to worry about. It's so great. It's so amazingly fine. And we'll taxi out here. Let me know if we have kind of considerable chop in the L frame rate. As I said, they say it's optimized, but how optimized, I will have to find out. Are you going to fly through downtown Manhattan? That's the Manhattan even, yeah, that's the plan. That is our wish. Let's hope it works. So this is not a handcrafted airport, just in case you guys are thinking, but it does look fairly well with the photogrammetry. Right, Murph, quick jump outside here, don't get lost. 22 is the runway of choice, so we're going to taxi up to here, hang a left, and then blast off. Tasman says, you're not far from me where I live, 45 minutes south. Nice. Keane Leffert says, what's your opinion about pineapple on pizza? Well, Keane, a pizza is not worthy unless there is a pineapple placed on top. That's my 2 cents. So half of you are going, yeah, I totally agree, and then the other half of you are going, ugh. So you'll fall somewhere in between the two of us. Okay, pitot heat don't need for the moment, famous last words. Okay, so squawk is on, lights are set, don't need flaps. Mixture coming in, and we'll start increasing our throttle here. Power set. Let's see how bumpy this is going to be, shall we? ESFGGH, or ESFA, is over on Twitch. Hello. Welcome aboard, and thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday. So there's an abysmal kind of takeoff, but we'll take it. 65 knots, well, we're airborne. We're full of fuel here. So we'll get a decent climb out. Now, a caveat is I've turned one or two things down a little, only in anticipation for flying over New York City. So the trees I have turned down a notch, as the clouds are turned down a notch. So they're gone from ultra to high. Which should still be fine. How do I pronounce it? ESFGGH is now following. Many thanks for the follow, my dude. I'm going to go with ESFA. So we're going to gain a little bit of altitude here, and then we're going to turn left on course. So we've scenery to look at now at this altitude. The last thing you guys want to look at is my head. Cue the music. And cue some scenery. Now, bearing in mind we are relatively low on the ground, so it'll take a few minutes, obviously, for all this to start looking really nice. Ludo says the trees have no effect on your FPS. Well, that's worrying. There's New York ahead of us. So, come hither, gadget. Where's my mouse? There it is. Over here now. So we're going to go to heading mode. Turn on our autopilot. We're going to go heading. Heading, yes. As it's doing all sorts of loading. We're going to go to 2,500 feet, yes. And we're going to V-speed it up to 500 feet per minute. And we'll go this way. Papa Joe B is here. Hi Murph, got in late. Just flew from Allentown, PA to Philadelphia after installing today's updates. Nice! Jordan Collins is here. Good evening to you, Jordan. He says, any FPS improvements from the patch? None that I can notice just yet. But I I think we're going to see, once we get over the Big Apple, what way it's going to turn out. Mr. Chippy is here. He says, it appears I got gifted a sub. Well, why didn't I get a notification? Many thanks to Colonel Fork 85. Really appreciate the support, my dude. It was the last stream, but I missed it. I probably missed it as well, Mr. Chippy. Colonel Ferg, thank you very, very much for your support, my dude. Don't forget, guys, the Colonel has a regular streaming service over on his Twitch. I strongly recommend you check it out. I followed him already on some amazing flights up around kind of the north of the US of A and around anywhere from Chicago, Michigan. Some really cool flights. Not only that, the dude knows his stuff. The Buzz is here. Evening, Captain Murphy. How are we doing tonight? Good evening, The Buzz. Hope you're keeping well, my dude. We're doing well tonight. So far, well, we hope we're doing well. The frames in game seem quite good, or in sim. So that's an improvement. Like, my average time to render, this is just like an OBS thing, so it'll... Shavam, many thanks for becoming a member, my dude. Really appreciate the support, and welcome aboard. So with OBS, that kind of measures the average time to render a frame. Those of you who are kind of au fait with streaming and kind of half understand it, as we'll look out the window here, because it looks pretty. So basically, if the smaller the number with the average time to render frames, usually gives you a good indication on how well the stream is behaving, or the sim is behaving. As Ozan Z is here, he says, just finished my 12-hour flight. He's just here to show support. Dude, I hope you enjoyed your flight. 12-hour, nice. Capencraft 213 is here as well. Good evening to you, and welcome aboard. So usually I'd be kind of averaging anywhere from 1.8 to 2.9 milliseconds per frame, right? And that gives me an indication then. That's where you get chopped. So anything more than kind of 3 or 4 milliseconds to render a frame, we start getting a bit of chop. So at the moment it's at 1.5 and I've had 0 drop frames, which is good. So we'll have to see what happens. Gaz Robs is here. He says, will you be buying a new 3000 series card? I tell you, it's going to be a hard sell not to, but we'll have to give it time and see exactly how it all turns out. Bad Dog is here. Hiya Murph, nice to see you again. And to you, Bad Dog. Happy Wednesday, dude. Hope you're keeping well. Andrew Noble is here. Hello, Mr. Murphy, he says. Hello, Mr. Noble. He says, no more fires in the DA62. Challenge complete. Congratulations, you have mastered the Diamond DA62. That's great news, my friend. The Tasman says, you get great lobster from the guys who motor to your boat from the guys at Block Island. Nice. Caden Craft says, my flight sim is installing right now. Awesome. Mr. Chippy says, I'm very tempted by the 3080, I must admit. I'm currently on a 1080 Ti. Yep. They seem to be absolutely fantastic, to say the least. So I'm kind of toying with the idea of picking up the 3090. I'm not quite sure yet how to kind of break this news to my significant other half. Perhaps she will not be impressed by the development of me spending, I imagine, somewhere between kind of 1,000 to 2,000 euros on a graphics card. She will expect it to do all sorts of things. But in fairness, this computer that I have now, this also has the ability to cut grass, hang pictures, paint walls, do some hoovering every now and again, amongst a whole plethora of other chores. This computer can do it. Well, I bought it and then I have to do all those things. So I'll need to figure out what the next card is going to add. Maybe it brings breakfast in bed every morning for a period of time. 6 months maybe. That remains to be seen. Mike is here. He says, good evening. The 3090 is a beast. Yes, it is. 2080 is where my cash is going. €1,700 on the 3090 is out of my reach, says Gaz. Ooh, €1,700. Well, I'd be selling a 2080 Ti in replace of that, so I imagine I'd probably get $600 or $700 for the 2080 Ti, provided, you know, Microsoft Flight Sim doesn't like cook it. So we're coming into New York here. And yes, we have some artifacts and things are trying to load. It looks like they have the pyramids in New York. But there's the Statue of Liberty. In all her glory. Donated by the French, would you believe? I was in New York once. A number of years ago. 2000 and... I want to say 3 or 2004. And it was a very different place, obviously, from the late unpleasantness. But I will say, an absolute brilliant city to visit. And I don't know, is it because the Irish heritage with New Yorkers, but very, very nice people. So Manhattan is slowly but surely starting to load in. The frames are behaving themselves, from what I can tell. We're going to go left arrow here. We're going to go for some kind of, well, music, shall we? Let me see. That works. Echo India's here. He says 118 decimal Murph. Echo India, good evening to you, my friend. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're keeping well. Ian Bennett says, not a chance, Murph. The €500 3080 is more powerful than the 2080 Ti. Dag nammit. Oh look, we have some ships and vessels and stuff. As we have the Statue of Liberty. One thing I will say, and I'm very happy to report, I'm getting 66 frames here. Moo-ha-ha. Now we'll give it time to load. Daza says, if I bought a 3090, then my other half would expect it to bring her a new man. Tasman says, donated in 1886 from the French. A great bunch of lads. They were a great bunch of lads. Liberty Island. I can't not look at that and expect it to move. Thank you, Ghostbusters 2, for that. So yeah, give it a bit of time. As I said, the internet is streaming this information. I should have, I should have probably pre-downloaded it. But it's doing a decent job so far. It looks rather nice. Ian Manning says, you'll probably get 300 to 400 for a 2080 now. That was a sound investment. Yes, I'm very smart. Thanks, Ian. I feel great. Mike says 3080 is the best buy. I think so. Andrew Noble says, wear a crash helmet when you mention it to your wife. I'll say it as I'm running away. Gaz Rob says, I'm wondering if the next Navi GPUs will be as good and cheaper. Oh, the AVI ones, yes. The Drummist 88 says, mate selling his 2080 Ti tomorrow for £450 and waiting the 2 weeks for the 3090. He is raging. Something tells me he won't be alone in his rage. Many new curse words will be invented. The Chasman says, my family came through Ellis Island. Nice. Hecamindia says, I'm keeping very well. Wednesdays are fajita days. Nice. Cartoon Man 154 is here. He says, 333 megabyte update for FS 2020. Yep. Hecamindia says, fiance has them on as we type. We're still talking about the fajitas, right? ESF GGH, how are you? I'm well, and many thanks for joining us tonight over in the world of Twitch. You're most welcome to the channel. I hope you're enjoying the content. Alex is here. He says, waiting for RDNA 2. Still think that I have the best price to performance ratio. Yeah, maybe. Awesome Pilot Michael, I'm getting 3 FPS with an i7 9700, 32 gigs of RAM, a terabyte SSD, and a GTX 1050. Something not right there. Awesome Pilot Michael. Be sure to jump over on Discord and see if we can help you out with some settings. There is some kind of wizardry and sorcery you can do with the config files, but I imagine it's a graphics issue. As we fly over, if anyone can name that bridge, Central Park is over there. And that weird building from Ghostbusters is here. I remember that because we got a tour of Central Park, and it was awesome. I went down by Strawberry Beds, or I think it's Strawberry Beds, and they show you all the different buildings around Manhattan and that. And it was epic. Mike says 60 FPS is brilliant here. It just is. X-Rays is here. Have you ever been to Newark in real life? I'm going there next year at the airport, just wondering if you have any advice. Newark is really fine. You're about kind of a 45-minute drive. You have to go through the turnpike, so it's like a toll bridge, and then you're in New York City. So it's about 45 minutes or so. And what I did find, it was cheaper to rent a limo than it was 2 taxis. So if it's just you and your partner, or you and your own, or if you have the kids or whatever, look into getting a limo. They tend to be cheaper. And you know, you're totally then kind of swag, you know? Remember that time we got a limousine in New York? Now, there's so many limos in New York, they'll probably just say, you know. I reckon there are as many limos in New York than there are tractors in Ireland. And that's a strong statement. ESFGGH, he says, my name is Andrew O'Connor from Roscommon. Andrew O'Connor, I shall call you Andrew from now on. Because the ESFGGH, it is what it is. But many thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome along, dude. Matthew He says, hello, bud. Hello, Matthew. QWERTY Pro is here. So how is the update and how big? Or wasn't pushed out yet? So the update is about 330 megabytes. It takes another further kind of 87 bits just to reconfig some of your files. The sim is behaving the way I would expect it. I'm getting amazing performance flying around Manhattan here. Like, I'm up on 66, 64, 66 frames, which is really, really good. Now, I have noticed that the loading time or rendering time for some of the buildings is a little bit slower. But that's internet more so than hardware. So that's always good. Let's hope. KCG is here. Good evening, Murphy, he says, and the chat. Good evening, KCG. Andy Money is here. Could you take a look over New Jersey side too? Sure. We'll go left arrow. Well, we're kind of over Jersey-ish now, on this side of the Hudson. But yes, we'll have a quick look. We'll kind of do a circle around New York and then ramble back again. Echo India says, this could be one big Microsoft Azure advertisement. They're sick of Amazon Web Services getting all the cloud glory. Sean R. Murray says, can you go into the cockpit? Yes, yes we can. Welcome to the cockpit of the Cessna 172. The Steam Gauge version, because I just prefer them. This is available with the Premium Deluxe copy. Philip Breen says, flying over Belfast last night, I checked my FPS, 40 to 60, which isn't bad. This is on very high-end settings. 76700K, an i7 7600K, and a 1070 Ti and 16 gigs of RAM. That's not bad, dude. Scott Briggs is here. Good evening to you, Scott. He said, it's cheaper to stay out in Newark or JC than in New York City for sure. Yeah, your accommodation, New York can be expensive. You know, it depends kind of what you want to do, but to stay in Jersey it is relatively cheaper, yes. But it's been years since I've been there. Like, I think it's, oh my god, that's 17 years ago. Is it? Yeah, oh. Okay, I'm done with New York. Let's go somewhere else. I wonder, do they have the Nimitz modelled? It is the Nimitz, guys, right? Isn't it over here somewhere? Or is it the Intrepid? Oh no, it's the Intrepid. Or is it? Chat will explain. Gaz Rob says, the strawberry beds are just down the road from me in Clondalkin. You had one too many beverages there, which is the slang for the, I got that-eyed. Do you see what I did there? Awesome Pilot Michael says, thanks, I'll check on Discord later. First tried to switch out my 4K monitor for 1080p. Darn work gets in the way. Yep. Laurent is here. He says, nice to see you flying again. Good evening to you, pal. I hope you're keeping well. Matthew Heeds says, I love popping into these streams. Well, many thanks, Matthew. Echo India says, I'm off to me Mexican feast. Keep the blue side up. Echo India, you enjoy those fajitas, and if they're nice, be sure to compliment your fiancé on a job well done. Mr. Shopper is here. He says, I can see my apartment. Nice. But you know what? So can we. We've all just seen your apartment. But it's okay. It's the virtual version. That's like Edgewater almost, or there or North Bergen, says Scott. Benny P is here. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Benny. Hope you're keeping well, dude. Cartoon Man says, someone has transferred an FSX F35 into F2020. The gauges don't work. The sound might be a bit off, but it's still early days. Yep. Our very own Colonel Fork has done a something with a DC-3 from FSX, and he has it flying. I take it that's the aircraft carrier there, so if I got closer it would load in better. And again, it looks way much better than this. It's only because of my internet is a little bit slow this evening. It's like myself, it's kind of midweek, it's not going to race anywhere, but at the same time it's not going to crawl, it's just cruising. Anti-Money says, yep, stayed in North Bergen in an Airbnb the last time in New York City. Nice. Scott Briggs says, the Intrepid Museum, etc. at West 44th or so. Nice. The Intrepid carrier, yeah. I was only there once in the later 80s. Rohit Aviator is here. Good evening to you, Rohit. He says, hello, good vibes. Many happy returns, dude. Happy Wednesday. Ludo says, we need a carrier in the sim like the old FSX multiplayer. Actually, there's a challenge. Anyone want to try and convert an aircraft carrier over to Microsoft Flight Sim from FSX? I'm pretty sure it can be done. He says, will you get the new 3090? I hope so. I'm going to need to do a whole lot of grovelling and explaining how important it is that I get such a device. And as I was saying, I reckon this new device will have to enable, you know, the PC to magically bring breakfast and bed to my significant other. My dear wife will want savage explaining as to why I need it. But that's okay. We got a couple of weeks before it's released. I'm sure I can muster up something. Ex-Apron is here. Captain Irish goes to visit New Ireland. How's it going, Hampus? Hope you're keeping well, dude. Demius84 is hello from Cork, sir. The streams are great crack and escape from all the madness going on in the world right now. Demius84, you're very welcome, and hello to Cork. I'm only up the road in Tipperary, and it absolutely is a fantastic escape from the madness that is the world at the moment. It's a great way to escape, I have to say. Here we are exploring New York City on a Wednesday evening. That's always good. Mark and Tellis here goes, hey Murph, flying over Jersey, go a little further south and I'll wave. How's it going, Mark? I hope you're keeping well, dude. Happy Wednesday. Papa Joe says, after installing the update, I cannot simply navigate back to the main menu to change aircraft or start a flight. I have to close completely and restart. Am I doing something wrong? I haven't come across that one. But by all means, maybe do a full restart of your computer. That tends to help when Windows updates some settings. As we're going to turn left here again and eventually fly back out towards our magenta line, which is our original flight plan. Come down here, you devil. I wonder if I could just go direct to mode. Let's see. We can fix this. Flight plan. enter, down here. No, no, you broke it. Oh, you broke everything. Activate leg, no. Enter, cancel. Man, Murph, you're a great fella for breaking things. Anyway, not to worry. Let's try it again. Kilo.
Hey, good morning.
As Dowler 8215 is now following. Many thanks, my dude. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good one. So we're Kilo Bravo, India, whoop, Delta, Block Island. Enter, enter. No, it's this. Then it's this, this, and then this. This, and this. Enter. Here we go. And let's nav mode that.
Hey, good morning.
And now we're looking good. As Demius84 just prescribed. Many thanks, my dude. That got us out of a precarious situation. Reprogramming the owl GPS. So we continue flying over New York City. Photogrammetry makes all the difference, guys. I mean, look at the detail. Stunning. Mike says, Nvidia new cards, there was a big jump in VRAM from the 3070. It has 8 gigs, 3080 has 10 gigs, and the 3090 has a massive 24 gigs. That's what you're paying for? I think so. Could you imagine 24 gigs of just dedicated virtual memory? Magnus Simonson is here. He says, hi from the Faroe Islands. What is the difference between Steam version and standard version? From what I can tell, nothing. Maybe a couple of hours in terms of when an update will be available. And obviously Steam get a proportion of your monies. As Sir Blackie a lot is now following. Many thanks, my dude. So Steam gets some sort of a commission, and then the rest goes to Microsoft. Hot Dog says, problem with Microsoft Flight Sim is heat, but my 9th Gen i7 and GTX 1660 reaching 80 degrees. The fans are louder than the plane. Well, in saying that, Back Dog, my system runs at about 80 degrees as well. Sometimes as high as 84, which is hot. But then again, it is getting maximum use from your GPU, and that's why you have one. So just make sure you got plenty of ventilation. If you got even an air fan, make sure all your vents are not blocked. Make sure it's not sitting on carpet. Keep it up off the ground. All those little things will definitely help. Dangerous Brian is here. He says, hello guys. On Monday Dangerous Brian is giving out. He says, hello guys. On Monday I asked you guys to reach 100 likes and you were amazing. You hit 118 at the end of the stream. Thumbs up. Many thanks, Brian. I hope you're keeping well, my dude. Happy Wednesday. Gaz says, I'm interested what the mods devs will come up with in the future. VR and helicopters, to name just a few. Cartoon Man says, you can always write off as a tax expense for 3090. Yes, yes. X-Apron says, busy, always busy. I hope you're making videos, dude. I can't wait to see your next one. SK Sun says, you can always sell a kidney. You only need one. But the one I have, I need. Ian Bennett says, Murph, have you tried any bush trip activities yet? No, I haven't, but I will. Real soon. Ian Yariel Riviera is here. Good evening. He says hello from Puerto Rico. Hello from Ireland, Ian. I hope you're keeping well, dude. Matthew Heath says, whereabouts are you from in Ireland? I'm from Dublin, but I live in Tipperary. And I married a girl from Kildare, and I spent a lot of time in County Kerry. So I'm cultured. Luda says, since you showed me the airport in the last stream, it's one of my favourite spots in FS 2020. Nice. There's a new AMD driver update, so I'm told, says Gaz. Nice. Flying Finn Motorsport is here. He said, this looks fantastic. I'm going to have to park up the rally sim and give this some time. It's awesome, dude. Really, really awesome. Scott Brick said, I landed there in X-Plane, tiny runway. Dangerous Mind says, today, let's see if we can match likes to viewers. Nice. How many viewers do we have here? So, according to YouTube, there's 108 people watching. And according to Twitch, there are 13 people watching. That's a lot of people watching. Gaz says, don't. The rally sims are the best. Gob Slayer is here. He says, hey Murph. Hey Gob, how you keeping, dude? Benny P says, hi Murph. I flew the tour again last Friday in New Zealand. What a great tour it was. I've also been flying in Patagonia. Those glaciers, they're so beautiful. Yeah, man, I got to get down that neck of the woods. South America is definitely a spot in which I want to fly. I was chatting to Stuart Payne there the other day. So we're thinking of doing something on Friday, just to see what we can do. I watched Cat Raider do a flight with Squirrel in South America as well, and it was epic. Cloverfield says, are you heading out over JFK? Negative. JFK, maybe we did. I'm too busy yapping. Oh, there's JFK there, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's JFK. So this is the thing, you can see exactly where the photogrammetry ends. So you mightn't see it too clearly now, but if I do this, and see the way you have this change in colour, whereby you have photogrammetry starting to load, but you have the default auto-gen scenery already loaded. Now don't get me wrong, it's still miles better than what we're used to, be it in X-Plane or P3D. But yeah, it is what it is. Mean Gamer 21 is now following. Many thanks, my dude. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're keeping well. The flight path would be LGA or so, turn right over CT and then head southeast to Block Island. Indeed it would. Chasman says, I can't wait to have virtual reality enabled. This game, or this sim, whatever we want to call it, is going to be off the hook when virtual reality comes out. Giggle Gig, well, how's life? Very well, my friend. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're keeping well. We're cruising here. We just took off out of Essex County Airport over in New Jersey, flew over Manhattan, and now we're heading out to Block Island. From Block Island, we're going to open it up to multiplayer, and then we're going to ramble up to Beverly Regional, which is just north of Boston. I love the Boston accent. Nvidia Crusader is here. Good evening to you, my friend. I hope you're keeping well. Ben McClure says, I've been looking for that video where you went to Ards Airfield for a half an hour, but I can't find it. Which airfield is that, my dude? Gaz says, we're in Dublin, Murphy, not too far from Clondalkin. Scott Briggs, we're over Bayside or so now in Queens. Nice. Scott is our virtual tour guide. He'll be telling us what's what and where things are. Both he and the Chazman. And Antimony. There's also a Cradle of Aviation Museum on Long Island in East Garden City, 10 miles west of Kilo Foxtrot Romeo Golf. Nice! Scott says, yeah, I've been there many times to Cradle Museum. There's also an Air Power Museum in Framingale. It's great. You see, these are all the things I want to see. Like, I've been to New York once, and like, you know, that's anything from Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building. At the time, we went down where Ground Zero was still pretty much Ground Zero. We went to Chinatown. We went everywhere, but I didn't get to see all the other stuff that I wanted to see. You know, aviation things. Paul Richards is here. Hi, do you have your PC specs detailed anywhere? FS 2020 has convinced me I may need to ditch X-Plane and iMac and build my own PC. But first of all, hello Paul Richards. You're very welcome to the chat, my dude. Happy Wednesday. My specs, if you do exclamation mark specs, it should come up. Failing that, I'll tell you. So I have an i9 9900K processor, which is kind of last year, but it's still very good. It runs at 5 gigahertz, and I can boost it up to about 6 gigahertz, which is very fast, and it runs relatively stable. That also runs then with an RTX 2080 Ti, which is at the minute the cat's pajamas, but soon again to be kind of last year. And then I have 64 gigs of Corsair LPX RAM, clocked to about 3000, and that's decent. That gives me a lot of headroom. And all of those things work off a ROG Strix Asus gadget motherboard, which is I think it's the Z390E, which is again kind of last year, but still very good. Meme Gamer says, can you go up to Milwaukee? Maybe not tonight, but definitely Milwaukee is on the list. Moo Boy is here. Can you fly from GSO to INT, please? Where be them? This is like Little Neck Queens or so, says Scott. Cool. Philly W is here. Good evening. Will you get one of the new 3rd generation RTX video cards? I probably will, yes. How are you keeping, Philly? Many thanks for joining us here tonight. Could you go somewhere in Green Bay? Best thing to do, meme, if you ramble over to Discord, just do ! Discord, go over there, and then if you go into the FS 2020 channel and just put in a couple of requests, and yeah, we'll get on it. Luda says, so I have pre-reached Cabot now. Nice. The good thing about VR is it runs mainly off your GPU, so you can really pump the fidelity. Hopefully so. Newton Ard, says Ben. I'll see if I can. I'll try and go back and get you a timestamp. If not, we'll just fly it again for you. Maybe Friday. Oh no, I'm doing South America on Friday. We'll do it soon, don't worry. Scott says, you may fly over me here in... How do you pronounce that? Is it Sioset? Or Sioset? Nice. Dangerous Brian says, Murphy, not being able to fly over a week or so, has the new patch made any difference? It's made some difference in terms of the install and how the application works. In terms of optimization, it seems to have done a little bit. You know, I was getting the mid-60s over New York City, which is quite good. I can't really report back on much else though, Brian. Mark Intella says, I used to fly out of Essex County in the 90s. Nice. Adam Powell is here. Good evening, Adam. He says the patch for Microsoft Flight Sim is out. It surely is. So I think they released it kind of late last night or early this morning, depending on your location. But it is live now. Andy Money says, barely a tour guide. Just a 2-time tourist here, but thanks for the honour. Scott says, yeah, it takes a ride out of LA to see that stuff. Or up to Rhinebeck to the aerodrome. The museum is tiny. Huh. Gob Slayer says a 3080 is $699. The Chasman says that looks like 497 Long Island Expressway below you. Cool. I'm a total tourist here, guys. Haven't a clue. Alex says maybe throw your specs in your YouTube description so you don't have to answer every stream. Alex, that's a very good point, and that's something I will do. Good thinking, Batman. At the same time, though, I am failing miserably at the whole, you know... Like, if I put in specs, it does appear. So I need to figure out why. But thanks for the advice, Alex. I'll definitely look into it, dude. Tasman says, I have a family who live in the Hamptons. Nice. The Hamptons. I like the Hamptons, just like a really nice area. Luda says, do you switch plane in Cabot? No, I'm going to hang on to the Cessna 172. Colonel Fork says, flew past Milwaukee yesterday. Airport is named after General Billy Mitchell, who was also the namesake of the B-25. Dude! See, I told you, the Colonel knows his stuff. Scott Briggs says, of course, Lindbergh and Amelia flew out of Orfield in Garden City. Interesting. David Gormley is here. He says, hello from Drogheda. I love your videos. I'd love to see you fly around Thailand sometime, especially where the Fifi stands. Or the Fifi Islands are. Yeah, the Fifi Islands. 100% David, we'll do that soon. Gaz says, I couldn't go to America. They drive too slow. Twice as fast as the 2080, says Gop. I see us et. See us et. Or see us et. I'll get there. Ian says it'd be nicer to be inside the cockpit. Maybe it will, Ian. We'll jump in there just for you. The immersion has just been doubled. Dazza says, is it me or has the patch made the scenery load in a bit faster? Dazza, I would actually say the opposite, because usually mine is very quick to load in. But then again, I'm sure it'll change from system to system. Wesley Hartford is here. Hello Murphy, how are you? How's it going, Wesley? How are you keeping, dude? Happy Wednesday. The Buzz says, does the patch auto-install when you start the game? So when you start up the sim, it'll look for an update. It should then tell you there is an update from the Microsoft Store. It'll exit, open up the store, download about 333 megabytes. Then you can relaunch the sim. It'll do another short update. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're good to go. Luda says, yeah, you really should install the new version of Delivery Mega Pack. There's a really good liveries now. I was going to, and the only reason I left it out, I was reading somewhere whereby they had said, if you have any problems with the install of the patch, be sure to have your community folder empty. Now, I take it that just wasn't an issue, so yeah, I must install them. Ben McClure says, what's your opinion on the Northern Irish accent? I love it. What's your opinion? Because you could say the same for the Cork or Kerry accent, or Cavan, or Galway, or Tipperary, or Dublin, in fact. I like all accents. Mine seemed to load in slower before the patch. Dude. Okay, so we're going to bring up our little VFR map here just to kind of show you guys where we are. So we're going to come over a place called Lufco Spadaro, I think. It's up this neck of the woods. I know that from X-Plane. As we continue on our flight over to Block Island. So we're flying it just VFR. We're at 2,500 feet. Speed is about 110 knots, which is 120 over the ground. RPM sitting just 24 and a bit. Fuel flow is kind of okay. EGT is okay. Fuel is fine. Temperatures and pressures are all in the green.
Hey, good morning.
As MX Nutter has just subscribed. Many thanks, my dude. Happy Wednesday to you, and thanks for the follow. Ben McClure says, I have it. Ben, you've just gone up a notch. Dazza says, I've installed Delivery Mega Pack this afternoon and it's great. Cool, I must check it out. The Chasman says, Irish accent rocks. The Chasman, you have also gone up one notch. Kendall Naughton says, could be Brummie accent. Chasman says, KHTO is Easy Hampton Airport. Cool.
Hey, good morning.
Mason Edwards has just subscribed. Hello Mason, many thanks for the subscribe, dude. I hope you're keeping well, and welcome to the channel. Kieran Nile is here. He says, good evening. Have they fixed the jets? I'm unsure. I didn't actually see autopilot issues in the patch notification. Let's see. Content manager doesn't say. Installation issues, yes, and stability issues. So it says note for the VNAV or autopilot issues. So I imagine that's still very much a work in progress. So we'll have to wait and see. Scott says there are a few tiny airports out east and one near MacArthur Airport. Also, is it Matatuk? Tiny little airfield. Cool. Ian Bennett says, what is the sound that plays when someone subs to the channel? It says, hey good buddy. Or, that's a big 10-4. It's all kind of trucker talk, you know? I even read once that there was once a tiny aviation country club in Jericho, New York, near where I grew up, in the 30s or so. You see, flying is such a heritage, or part of the heritage over in the US. Like, in Ireland, flying is not a huge thing. It was certainly more important kind of back in the 50s, 60s and 70s with Shannon. But aviation as itself, general aviation in particular, it's not very big here. Now those who are involved in it, anyone who I've met in you know, the aviation world in Ireland. They're so passionate about flying, which is always great. Luda says, what server will I be on later? I'll be on the North Europe one. Brian Strat is here, or Brian Strait is here. Any women pilots out there, she says. Now, Brian, no smooching. So we're about 35 minutes away from our destination, or 70-ish nautical miles. We're kind of getting on nicely here. Dangerous Brian says, guys, we are 50 likes short of viewers. Get in there. Scott Brick says, of course, Grumman was the first major one for years. Is that Grumman who eventually went on to make the Tomcat? The F-14? Wasn't that Grumman? Colonel Fork says Grumman did make the Tomcat. Nice. See, I know some stuff. I probably heard it from the Colonel's channel, but I know stuff. Scott says, I believe so, yeah. Grumman made tons of fighters like that. Colonel Fork says they had a whole series of cat-named aircraft. Nice. Luna says, which weather preset am I currently flying? I just kind of have it on a few clouds. Salah is here, good evening. He says, which city are you flying to? So we're on our way from Essex County. We flew over Manhattan and we're now heading out to a place called Block Island, in which we'll be there in about 30 minutes. Then from Block Island, we're going to open it up to multiplayer. And we're going to ramble on over and have a look at Beverly Airport, which is just north of Boston. Scott says, I drove by the Remnant other day. Grumman Fairchild still has some stuff here, but very little. I'd say it'd be awesome to hang around there. Break a Leg is here. He says, Area 51. Maybe not tonight. We weren't too far from it actually the last day. We're over kind of Nevada neck of the woods. But yeah, we'll do it soon. Salah says, I live about 5 miles north of Boston along the beach. Would be great if you do a little flyover along the beach. 5 miles north of Boston. We probably will. We're heading up to Beverly. Colonel Fork is in with the F4F Wildcat, the F6 Hellcat, the F7 Tiger Cat, the F8 Bearcat or Bearcat, the F9 Panther Cougar, the F11 Tiger, and the F14 Tomcat. Didn't they also make a water boat? I'm almost certain they did. I think the Air Corps flew one. Stuart Payne is here. Good evening, Stuart. He says, researching, bro. I have so much researching to do tomorrow. Peter Thomas is here. I'm flying around Houston right now in the JBM. Nice. I do like that JBM. It's cool. The Grumman Goose, that's the one. Another plane series from the Grumman Ironworks. Yeah, the Grumman Goose. I first came across that in, was it FSX? And they did a really good job at it. I think they had that in the Beaver. And it's only when I started doing a bit of... I think I saw a picture somewhere. I think it was in the officer's mess in Baldonnel. And here's this photograph of this water plane. I'm looking at it and going, what, the Air Corps flew them? And they did. A Grumman Goose. The Widgeon, Goose, the Mallard, and the Albatross. The Albatross, I think, is still used, or in some cases, they used it as a water bomber, I think, didn't they? Kenneth says they had a Widgeon as well. Cool. Top Slayer says Area 51 or PS22 is what brought me to Vegas in the first place. All I can say about that. That wasn't a UFO, that was a weather balloon. So far so good in our little machine here. We have some nice scenery. Lots of trees. Dangerous Brian says, I don't like to knock X-Plane, but these views are amazing. I agree. I was messing around on X-Plane earlier in the week, only because I needed to get me some helicopter action. And yeah. Microsoft Flight Sim, it does look absolutely stunning. And for the most part, that makes up for the lack of avionics and systems modelling at the moment, only because I think everyone is still in let's go explore the planet kind of mode. So give it time. Mal Watts says, any Elvis fans on tonight? So sorry and angry over the damage done to Graceland last night. It was disgraceful. Yeah. I have to say, this is a nice area. It's hard to believe, like, you're within kind of 30 minutes of New York City and it's relatively rural out here. We got farms and stuff. I like that idea, Scott. Scott says you can stop over at Matatuk, get some wine. I do enjoy a good wine. Kevin Naughton says, I wish to get the Cessna 310 on here. They're working on it. Dangerous Brain says, it's still in beta, guys, so it can only improve. 100%. Totally agree. Peter Thomas is here. He says, flew around Miami earlier. Well, good. Nice. Yeah, Miami's... I was gonna do a flight. I watched one of Steve-O, one Knievo's videos whereby he took off from Opa-locka and he headed over to Space Airport. And it was really cool because there was a TFR active and he was going to do a landing on runway 18 in which he had to do kind of a left downwind, and it put him within a couple of 100 meters of the TFR. And he took off really early in the morning, so he had a beautiful sunrise. So I'm sure you guys all know who Steve-O One Knievo is, and if you don't, YouTube him. Scott says, yeah, it's like New England out there. Yeah. So I'm also going to continue my... I'm making a couple of videos on YouTube. I want to show off the 32 counties of the island of Ireland. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I have 6 done. Next up is going to be Derry. Then of course we'll have Donegal. Then we're going to have a look at Down, which is more than likely going to be kind of Newry. Then Dublin. Fermanagh will be next, then Galway, Kerry, Kildare, Kilkenny, Laois, Leitrim, Limerick, Longford, Louth, Mayo, Meath, Monaghan, Offaly, Roscommon, Sligo, then Tipperary, Tyrone, Waterford, Westmeath, Wexford and Wicklow. I've lots to do. And based on the information that I have from Bing and also Asobo, this time next year, the entire planet and globe within the sim, for all its satellite imagery, should and must be updated. So they have reported. So that's kind of interesting. So I don't know how accurate or how new or how up to date these maps are, or these ground scenery photos are, if you want to put it in kind of layman's terms. I imagine they're fairly recent. There's parts of Dublin which are very recent, and then there's parts that not so much. Dangerous Brian says, Evil Knievel, did you say? It's Stevo 1 Knievo. So, Steve 1 Knievo. You got to check him out, guys. He flies a TBM 850. And it's by far one of my favorite YouTube channels and YouTubers. And it's edutainment, yeah. So he's kind of teaching it as he's flying to all these amazing places. And he's flown in anything from choppers with flight chops. He's flown some of the bigger airliner planes. I think he was in a 747 recently. He's been in Cessnas, Piper Cubs, loads of stuff. Scott says Riverhead is to your right. It has a lovely aquarium. Well, I do enjoy a good aquarium. Kenneth Naughton says, think I saw your marker over Cork yesterday when I took off from Cork to Wales. Yep, that was me. That's when I was making the video. Mark Garcia is here. He says, you got this. Hey Mark, how's it going, dude? Happy Wednesday. I hope you're keeping well. Scott says we're going to jump the Snake River. The scenery over Miami is wicked. It really is. Kenneth Naughton says he's brilliant. Yeah, Steve Knievel, guys, absolutely fantastic stream. YouTube channel thingy. So that's kind of interesting. That's just like a blend of a photo tile. And there's a little bit of cloud burn here, but it's not too bad. The Z3 is here. He says, hey Murph, just having a Chinese and enjoying the stream. Well, he just said, well, I'm enjoying the stream. My E key is broken. That's okay, dude. We will pardon the E. Happy Wednesday. What you get in the Chinese? Is it nice? And did you bring some to share with the rest of us? The ferry's North Fork is Southold, a lovely town, plus the ferry up to CT. Cool. This is a nice looking area, I have to say. Kieran says you should fly over LA. It's fantastic. LA is on the list. 100% I'll be flying that neck of the woods. It seems to be a lot of farmland this part of Long Island, says Cloverfield. Mal Watt says, are there seasons in the new sim? Well, there's this and then there's snow. And that's it for the minute. Jim Oates is here. G'day, mate. Just got on to see you in the USA. What's the destination today? Hello, Jim. Happy Wednesday. You're very welcome to the stream this evening. So we took off from Essex County over New Jersey. We just flew over Manhattan. We're now heading out over Long Island over to a place called Block Island. Kilo Bravo India Delta. And once we get there, I'm going to change the aircraft. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep the same aircraft, but we're going to open it up to multiplayer. And we're going to head north up over Boston. And our arrival airport is going to be Beverly, which is Kilo Bravo Victor Yankee. You guys are all very welcome to join along. The Z3 says, very nice, special fried rice, sweet and sour chicken, Hong Kong style. That sounds epic. You enjoy that, man. That actually sounds really good, doesn't it? Yes. Greetings to the guy on my left at KBID, says Ludos. Scott says, mainly vineyards and some farmland out here. Cool. David Gormley says, have you ever landed at your house? If so, does it look realistic? It's not bad. You know, the building shape is correct. The garden is much more cleaner in the sim than it is. Well, actually, yeah, no, it is. I cut my hedges back last week, so it looks a little bit better now, but yeah. In terms of the front and sides of the building, no, not realistic in terms of what the actual buildings look like. But again, there's no photogrammetry over here. Now, in saying that, we did get a notice in the post in the mail the other day saying that there's going to be low-flying aircraft due to Ordnance Survey photos. And I am aware the last time they did this, Orbex had paid license fees to get these photographs once they came in. Orbex were still working on a True Earth Ireland. I don't know where they are in the development. I think they have an awful lot of it, but they're kind of held up in red tape bureaucracy from kind of the Irish setup establishment. They're probably just looking for a few extra euros, which would be typical. But that's going to be good news for us, because if they're using low-flying aircraft for photos, that helps hugely with the likes of photogrammetry. So let's see what happens. Niall Rooney is here. He says, "Evening, Murph. Any sign of Trump?" No sign. Nothing to see here. Keep flying. It's looking really great. Really fantastic. Best flight you're going to have ever. That was really bad. Flight Sim Check is here. Do you know how to VFR on VATSIM? Yes, I do. Would you like to learn? Be sure to check out us over on Discord, and if you have a question, stick it up and we'll be happy to do some tutorial flights. A lot of the gang are highly experienced sim pilots, and we also have a plethora of real world pilots. So if you have any questions or whatever to do with how to VATSIM or how to use ATC, don't be shy, jump on, ask a couple of questions. Starting off in VFR is obviously going to be the easiest way to start. You're not too much worried about flight plans. Once you know how to interpret a chart, as in what altitudes you can and cannot fly, and what airspaces you can get in or get out of, and how to, you know, talk to ATC, it's going to be good. Leslie Harford says, "I might have to join you midway through. I'm in school." That's okay. So when we're flying up from Block Island, there are a number of airports on our way, including that of Boston Logan. Even if you want to take off there, and we'll do some crazy flying around Beverly for a little bit. Luda says, "I'm from Germany and my hometown was really good." Nice. Scott Briggs says, "I read Billy Idol's family moved out east for a few years in the 50s or whatever. Of all people." Dangerous Brian says, "We are so close with these likes, guys." Nice. Wesley says, 69 likes. Get in there. Colonel Fork says, "I'd like to understand how to run VATSIM." Sure, we'll have a look at it, dude. I think they're using SimConnect or vPilot. vPilot for me is probably the easiest way to integrate with it. But yeah. We can start off really slow and take it one step at a time. Maybe we can see a few of the VATSIM controllers are members, if you like, of the Discord, and they're also subscribers here on the channel. So if you guys are in the chat, make yourselves known. And even if we can do kind of a controlled airspace, if we have a controller at one airport, somewhere relatively quiet, you know, like an Irish airfield, and we can use that as kind of like a study ground, a playground, if you will, for figuring out all the do's and don'ts when it comes to flying with ATC. Because guys, I can absolutely promise you this: if you're new to flight sim, or if you're not new to flight sim but you're new to ATC, your experience and enjoyment in the sim will multiply so much once you include ATC. It opens up an entire realm and gives you such reason to fly, because the challenge of flying an ATC is very rewarding, and it's also great fun because you don't know what's going to happen. You could be rerouted, you could be delayed. It adds so much coolness to your flights. So I strongly recommend you guys try. Ah, that works. I strongly recommend you try ATC. And even if you don't want to do it in front of people, as in, you know, you might be a little bit nervous or whatever, I'm sure we can organise even just one or two of us. One can be a controller, one is on the ground, not on any particular network. We can use a private group within Microsoft Flight Sim so no one else can hear you, and we can try and teach each other that way. I'll never forget my first flight on Pilot Edge, and I like sweated buckets. I was terrified. I was like, hello? This is November 235. Do you know that guy out of The Simpsons? And man, I was terrified. Now I eventually got it. What was I? November 235, 8 miles south to land with Echo. And they were like, ident, and I was like, I what? And he had a relatively thick American accent, so he was like, Ardennes. I was like, Ardennes? It's a forest in Belgium. It's nice this time of year. So I made a total hames of it. But it got better then, because I recorded, and that's a good tip, by the way, especially your first flew? English, Murphy. Your first few flights, record the audio or the video and go back and watch it. Because you learn from your mistakes. And if you're like me, you learn quick because they're so horrendous. But yeah, I remember replaying it back, and then the second time, I got this, I was like, yeah, November 235, 8 miles south of the field with Echo to land. And he's like, report 3 mile final, runway, whatever. I was like, yeah. And then gave me landing clearance, called out the wind, the whole lot. I was like, yeah, clear to land, runway, whatever. I landed, and then I just decided to exit the runway and taxi straight to parking without kind of talking to the controller to say, I can make the exit here on Bravo, request parking or request taxi to parking or whatever. So I had to replay that one, and so on and so forth. Anyway, enough jibber jabber out of me. It was fantastic, and ATC does that. So I do implore you all, ATC it. David Gormley says, it would be super cool if the game done real live air traffic. Do you think that'll come in the future? Well, with VATSIM, it's using virtual ATC. You're not going to get the real world, because although the other aircraft are there, the sim won't be able to move them or reroute them, or, do you know what I mean? It can't do anything with them. With VATSIM, everyone has to fly by real world conditions. So if you get onto their servers and you're going to act the GOM, they're going to kick you off it. It's as simple as that. Ian Bennett says, the Irish controllers are some of the best in VATSIM. They're insanely good. I agree. You'll always get one kind of awkward or painful controller, and he could be just as terrified as the pilots are, because it could be his first night, he could be very busy, he could have computer issues. So VATSIM is kind of handy. You can kind of text and send them a message to say, listen, I'm brand new, Shampoo, I need time to figure all this out, and they should be able to help you out. I would hope that they help you out. And if they don't, well, you can report them. Wesley says, yes, I too like to play around in VATSIM, making the controller go bad. Fly out of Heathrow and request a basic service. I dare you. They love when that happens. Dangerous Brian says, it would be good if little navmap got on board. I tried the other one, guys, Sim Toolkit Pro, and okay, it lagged a lot, but I reckon this new update should fix that. So yeah, we must give that a shot. The Tasman says, how do you join ATC? So you got to either team up with Pilot Edge or VATSIM. VATSIM is free. Pilot Edge you got to pay for a subscription, which you're either for or against. I will say Pilot Edge is more strict in terms of how close they follow the real world procedures. So if that's what you're looking for in your sim, I would recommend Pilot Edge. You are limited to flying on the west coast of the USA. VATSIM is more user friendly in terms of, well, it's free and they tend to cover most of the planet at different times, but it's well worth a shot. Panda YT1 is here. Hello Panda, good evening and happy Wednesday. Hope you're keeping well, dude. The Tasman says, the island ahead has been in an English family since the late 1600s. Dude. Jimo says, I did my P1 exam on VATSIM and then lost the airport. I still passed it, but yeah, it was a nervous wreck. We'll be glad to join in if we got this set up. Yeah, 100% guys. Ian Fisher's here. He says, just for interest, I've spent the last hour listening to various controllers. Best comedy night ever. It can happen, man. And it's very funny when they get tick, or if someone is just doing something stupid, you know, like climb and maintain flight level, you know, 230, and then they come back and say, okay, climb flight level 230, and like then the controller comes on saying you're at 2,300 feet, please expedite climb to flight level 230. It's funny. Whiskey River 99 is here. Good evening, Whiskey River 99. He says, evening, sir. How are you keeping, dude? Happy Wednesday. Luda says, the Flight Sim online community, I would say, is the best community in the world. I would agree. I would absolutely agree. We have our fair share of weirdos and crazy people, like every community. But by and large, there are so many nice, down-to-earth, kind of laid-back, easygoing people. And we have our kind of hardcore simmers as well. But it's a very good balance. And I love to be a part of this community. That's how I see it. We're all part of this community. Production, sir? That looks like Cork ahead. Patrick Cullen asks, have you ever used self-loading cargo for Microsoft Flight Sim 2010? No. IVAO is there also, says Ludus. Yeah, I haven't tried it, but yeah, I know it's there. Philip Breen says, if you guys want comedy, ATC, look up Kennedy Steve on YouTube, JFK. The guy was hilarious, but retired now. Yeah, I've listened to some of his stuff. It's hilarious. Ian Fisher says, tonight there was flight level 4,000. And it wasn't a space shuttle thingy. Whiskey River says, wonderful flying on air company. Cool. So as we're going to consult our little VFR map here, we're getting very close. Very, very close. We're pretty much straight in arrival onto this runway, in which we can see Block Island dead ahead with the runway lights flashing. So our current altitude is 2,500 feet. We're going to drop that down to 2,000 feet, just to kind of slowly but surely edging our nose down here. Quick check on all our temps and pressures. Everything's in the green. Fuel is fine. Landing lights are on. We're pretty much good to go. So with the nose dipping down, we can probably bleed off a bit of speed. Mr. Chippy says, I just got FS Economy account today after applying on Saturday. They're rammed with applications at the moment. Yeah, they're super busy. Ian Bennett says, I'm trying out on air as we speak. Cool. Whiskey River says, I just started too. I love it. On air is pretty cool. What was the one, or maybe that is the one. Is that like the add-on whereby it measures your flight and you can do like different announcements and see the people walking around? Was that on? Oh no, that was something else. That was cargo something. I really like that add-on. That was self-loading cargo, wasn't it? It's an English developer, and you know, when you hop into the plane, you can have various things happen in the plane. You know, the passengers get up, they go for the whiz, or you know, they want to drink, or they want to eat, or they want to watch a movie. Nico Nicholson is here. Where are we going tonight, Murph? Just tuning in now, just in the door from a long day. Well, welcome back from your long day, and I hope your long day was a good day. Happy Wednesday. We took off from Essex County in New Jersey, and we headed over Manhattan. And we're now going across Long Island, heading for Block Island, as Ben Johnson has subscribed to us over on YouTube. Many thanks, Ben. You're very welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a pleasant evening. So once we get to Block Island, which is Kilo Bravo India Delta, we're going to head up north over Boston, up to Beverly Airfield, or Beverly Airport, or it could be Beverly Regional. I think it's regional. Geek Burnley says that's self-loading cargo. Right. I like that program. Now, I don't know, is that going to be released for Microsoft Flight Sim or not? I imagine it will. Billy Walsh is here. Where are we at, lads? And are you online? We'll be online very shortly, Billy, if you want to join us. The airport we're going to take off from is called Block Island. That's Kilo Bravo India Delta, over in the United States. And from Block Island, we're going to head north up to Boston. Aidan Darley Aviation is here. Good evening to you, Aidan. He says, how are you getting on? Are you well? Very well. Many thanks, Aidan. We're going to do a flight here out of Block Island, heading up towards Beverly, up past Boston, in the state of Massachusetts. So we can kind of see the runway way off in the distance. We'll continue on this heading for the moment. Skyfly Bry is here. He says, hello from Planet UK. Hello, Skyfly Bry. Geek Bernie says, it works now. Cool, I must check that out. Rudder says, you want to do a formation landing later? Yeah, well, why not do it? We'll check it out. What server's probably going to be the North Europe server. Okay, so we're going to follow our heading mode now, just to align us nicely up to the airport. Aidan says, Murphy, I finally saw an aircraft up here in Galway. It was EI MPC. It was an Augusta Westland AW109. Sweet. Well, Walt says, how many guys are using the box version? Is it easier to install? Well, there's kind of a bug. The heading indicator ain't working. Although I'm saying that, my heading bug isn't working. There we go. See how we fix that? We can fix things. So you have gyro drift in most aircraft, especially ones that have a gyro. So your heading needs to be adjusted usually every kind of 10 to 15 minutes. So I already had that setting as automatic. With the update, I imagine it deleted that setting. So I must check that one out. King Laffer says, how long are you streaming for? About another hour. Peter Thomas, fly from Davis Air Force Base. Got the airplane boneyard right next to the airport. Nice. Yeah, I must check that one out. You're going to switch to live weather later. We'll see what it's like first. Okay, Murph. Block Island. Skyfly Bright says, is the update ready to download? If so, I'll fire up the game's computer. The update is good. Giovanni is here. Is Onion Town in this too? Onion Town? I have no idea. Onion Town should be called Funyon Town. Okay, we got the field in sight. We can probably make this approach a little bit easier. Do a quick descent here. Scott says there's a short runway here. Challenge accepted. It does look relatively short, alright. Face cam on for dramatic effect. I keep saying that, and some night I won't, and we'll crash. So, autopilot coming off. Bring our power right back here. Get ourselves lined up here for the runway. Tanya Willis is here. Where's Georgia? Google.com. Type in, where is Georgia? As in the US or like the country? That could be confusing. Okay, speed is a little bit hectic, but that's okay. By now your ears would have definitely popped as we do a 1500 feet per minute descent. Dangerous Brian says, I'm still trying to get the Logitech to update the drivers for the multi-panel and radio panel. Yeah. Like, they are a sound investment. The radio panel in particular is very handy. The switch panel, the multi-panel, that's a switch panel, or is that the one with the autopilot? Okay, a little bit bumpy coming in here as we come over the terrain, but it's okay. Very bumpy. I reckon we can do this without flaps. So let's wait and see, shall we? Ourselves lined up here on the center line. Runway 10. Okay, power to idle. That weather sock is, I don't know, doesn't seem to be doing what it should be doing. There's a touchdown. And welcome to Block Island. Bit of manual braking here. We overshot the exit ever so slightly, but that's okay. Get ourselves off the runway here. Yeah, the weather socks, that's still a bug, so as soon as you see them, they seem to be kind of blowing a bit of a gale, and then when you get right up close to them, it's like 2 or 3 knot wind. So yeah, we'll wait and see. As I said, this is the first patch that came out. Their main concern on this was you know, allow the machine to allow the sim to install excuse me, and then also if you were kind of plugging controllers in and out, well, not have the machine crash. Tony ML88 is here. Just started watching your stream. I used to fly out of Essex County Airport. Great little airport. Sweet, dude. You're very welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a pleasant Wednesday. Giovanni says, and be careful when you get to Detroit. Aidan Darley says, I have school on Friday. Aw. Could be worse. You could have work. Mr. Shippy says, I reckon the SPAD Next or Axis and O's drivers will be ready before the Logitech official ones, probably. Just gonna get ourselves parked up here. Nothing too fancy. Alan Mead is here. Good evening, Alan Mead. Hope you're keeping well, dude. Thanks for joining us. We've just landed here in Block Island. And we get ourselves parked up. I love the sounds it makes of kind of like all the little creaks and moans and groans. So, park and brake is now on. Jump down here. Go ahead and turn off our strobes, taxi and landing lights. Transponder turn to off. Avionics can go to off. Color mixture. Cool. Fuel shut off valve is now in. Beacon and nav lights can go to off. Our mags are off. Alternator, and then our battery comes off. Cool. Okay, leg 1 is complete.
Appreciate the comeback, good money.
Alan Mead has donated $3.49 through Super Chat. And great, Murph, thanks. Off working out for 3 weeks. Happy holidays, dude. Many thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. Ah, tasty beverage. Keen Laffer says, very smooth. Dangerous Brian says, margarine. For Two-Tone Airlines, yes. Gulf Island Aviator. My game doesn't upgrade today. Was it supposed to? Should be. Try and update it through the Windows or Microsoft Store. That should do it. Corey Schwartz is here. Remember me? We certainly do, Corey. How are you? You're very welcome. J Baker 88. Yeah, you should be getting 80 kilobytes. So the update through the Microsoft Store should be 333 megabytes. Make sure you do that one first. Luda says, yeah, the sounds are really nice. You really think you're in the plane. Gulf Island Aviator, Canada, he says. Cloverfield 911 says, I'll say goodnight at this point. We'll catch you on the next one, Cloverfield. Many thanks for joining us, and you have a pleasant evening, sir. Alan says, no probs, pleasure to watch the channel. Nice one, dude. Thanks very much. Matthew Vernon is here. How you doing? Very well, Matthew. You're very welcome tonight. Hope you're keeping well. Scott Voigt is here. He says, evening, late to the stream. That's quite okay. How are you keeping, Scott? I take it you watched the Nvidia release of all the new graphics cards. Matthew Vernon says, can I donate you $300? I won't say no to a donation. But Matthew, keep your money, my dude. Invest in... Look at your man doing the Yaki Boos, look. Handbrake turns and Yaki Boos. Clearly his supervisor isn't watching the stream. But Matthew, yeah, invest your money into the sim, my dude, or get yourself a nice controller. I was laughing so much in that video where you tried to land the 139 on an oil rig, as Overlord has just subscribed. Many thanks, dude. Aiden, me trying to land that chopper, I crashed the first time, and then I kind of got there. Chasman says you need to download it in Steam. If you have Steam, yes. If you have the Microsoft Store, it's on the Microsoft Store. Matthew Vernon says, is it a good sim? Yes, yes it is. It's a little bit lacking on the systems and avionics side at the moment. Give it time, it will absolutely get better. But in terms of the visualization from the lighting model, the weather, the engine that they use for the weather, and just basic exploring around the world, there's nothing else like this. It's amazing. Felix is here as well. Good evening. Philip Breen says, ready to fall behind and crash again. Nicholas says, it's updating for me. A nice one. Okay. We're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. How is? So I'm going to reboot my simulator. Quit the desktop. It's just a habit I always had from X-Plane. Whenever you finish a flight, reboot and start again. So we'll let that think about itself for a moment. What's in the update? Pretty much they tried to fix all the install issues. There was a couple of small optimizations made as well. It's not too bad. They fixed a couple of stability issues. The installation issues should now be completely sorted. Pat PC10 says Eurovision is in 258 days. Pat and Keen, I'd say, get on very well. Keen Leffert says, can you give a shout out to Patrick Carroll? Hello, Patrick Carroll. You guys are doing like a duet for the Eurovision? It's okay. Your secret is safe with me. Billy Walsh asks, are we sticking with the Cessna 172? I think I will, yeah. I do love the Cessna. So the installation issues should all now be sorted. The content manager, they fixed up a few bits and pieces. Waiting for the sim to load. SimConnect, a significant FPS drop when using SimConnect should no longer affect the experience. That's huge news. SimConnect will allow you to use the likes of 4Flight and Sky Demon and all that kind of good stuff. The Chasma says, does Steam update automatically? Yes, it should. It might be a couple of hours behind Microsoft, so if you don't see it yet, you will. So give it a little bit of time. Optimization, then, they say. The performance of the title has been improved when the display nameplate option is set to active. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. Sounds great. And then Marketplace, the correct currency is now properly updated in the Marketplace. So that's what they've been doing. Matthew Vernon says, do you use a yoke? I don't. I use the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog. So HOTAS, HOTAS, literally means hands on throttle and stick. So I have a throttle and a stick. Skyfly says, I'm trying to start the sim, but I can't find the Annie key on my keyboard. It doesn't have an Annie key. And it starts now. See my screen here. I need to do something. Because I represent, hang on. I represent about that space on the screen. And I need to do more. I should have like cool graphics or even the chat. I'll think of something. I can't do it now, but I will think of something. Okay, so let's see. It doesn't appear that they fixed the Marketplace in terms of you can't see any other products there. That's a bit of a bummer. Anyway, world map. All the dudes are located on Block Island. There's already a few here, guys. So, set departure. Oh, you probably want to see this part. Give it a second. It'll load in. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to head up down to Beverly, KBVY. Beverly Regional. Set as arrival. That's the flight plan. They reckon 43 minutes, but we'll take our time. The aircraft I'm going for is the Textron Aviation Cessna 172 Skyhawk with the steam gauges. Livery's weight and balance will refill our tanks. Maybe 80%. Failures, no thanks. Tail number. Just, that's my tail number. Flight conditions, all players, preset, time of day 4 o'clock. I'm going to go with a few clouds. Live weather is... Let it load. We have some clouds. Anyone got a Metar for Block Island? Has anyone ordered the DVD edition? What's their experiences with it? Colonel Fork says, add a chat box and a background. I will. That sounds even better. Put a new 3080 in and install Streamer AI. Matthew Vernon, if that's true, dude, I'm terribly sorry for your predicaments. If it's not true, well, Dad says, sorry, I had to pop out for booze before the shop shut. Care85, could you show us your setup, Murph? What would you like to see, lads? My setup as in my peripherals or my setup in terms of my specs? Or my socks? I have to define a setup. Luna says, greetings to the one who's doing the air show. Murph, you should see this approach. Is that over in the other place we were talking about earlier? Skyfly says, it's saying on my screen, I cannot open Microsoft Flight Simulator, reinstall the app from the original install location. What does that mean? It means you have a problem. Log off, restart and try again and see if you can find it. DXD IAG, says Jay Baker. Pat says peripherals. If you guys go over to the world of Twitter, and my Twitter, look up that way. Put all the way up that way. See the kind of orangey thing? At the Dewtone Murphy. If you guys go over to Twitter, and follow me on Twitter, you will see photographs of me stuff. I don't have the tidiest desk on the planet, but it does me. And let's see. I'll go onto Twitter. I'm not very good at Twitter. But let's see. Tweets, media. Go into media. Ah, there it is. Yes. What's behind me and what's in front of me. So if you go onto Twitter, guys, you will see me set up and how everything looks, including beverages. So yeah, check out Twitter, guys. Kerr says, sorry Murph, I meant to say your throttle, stick and rudder setup. Yeah. Kerr85, ramble over to the Twitter. You'll check it out there, my dude. Okay, all of this appears to be okay. All players, yes. AI traffic off. Weather and time is good. Click back here. The server I am on, guys, it says automatic. Give this a second. 11 milliseconds ping to Northern Europe. I'm going to be in Northern Europe. Make sure you guys are there as well. And let's load this in. Jay Baker says, you should put your PC specs and equipment in the description. I shall. S5 says, I'm not a Twitter twit. Okay, Scott. Wait now, how do we do it? I could connect... To put it in the UK parlance, I was gobsmacked when I saw the prices. Indeed. I was a caravan closer to the other day. That was a blast, says Jake Body. You surely were, Jake. It was awesome and epic. Okay, so the weather here isn't 2H. So with one click of a button, there we go. Here's an airplane. Here's an airplane. Oh, they're all coming in. Hey, guys. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, I shan't delay. Battery, brakes, fuel shut off. In you go. Beacon light. Nav light. Mixture to rich. Double check our throttle. I think that'll work. Anyone else run over that pushback guy a few times already? He kind of morphs into your airplane. Does the Eiffel Tower have a model yet? Yes. Yes, it does. Lita says, I think I'm the only one flying a 152. That's okay. Six-pack pilot is here. Yes, those pushback guys are always in the way. You're in the DA40. Okay, 1 second. Let's turn on traffic by... So let's see who everyone is. There's lots of you. Okay, so we'll go to this camera view. And there's all sorts of making out going on between Cessnas and Cirrus SR22, is it? Maybe? So we have Chippy down on the ramp there. We have Whisper Gaming and Daza sitting on the runway, ready to go. Lovely Kitten is just having the crack. Nice. We've got a couple of us here on the ground. And a few more flying overhead. Sir Blackie Alot is here with us as well, as is the Colonel, as is SD Bama. This is going to be epic. Okay, let us get started up and get this show on the road. So we've done all that. Fuel pump, positive read on our fuel gauge. We're going to turn the keys, clear prop. Good start in the engine, keep our RPMs just below 1,000, lean our mixture here a little bit. All is looking well. Go ahead and get our avionics 1 and 2 on. Set our barometric and our heading, landing. Strobes and nav lights can come on at this stage as well. Get some lightage. That'll do. Jump down here to our transponder. We're going to go for 1200. Initial altitude will be 3,000 feet. Worry about that now in a minute. And we're going to change over to GPS mode as soon as we take off, because we're flying via the flight plan. And I'm good to go. Niall Breslin is here. Good evening, Niall. Good evening, Murph. Nice way to end the evening with the stream. Nice. Nick Kerr is here as well. Hello, Nick. Love the DA40. Wish they had some for rent around here. Sigh, he says. Yeah, they would be small though, I would think, Scott. Corey, Tutor Murphy, you should get Roblox. Nah. We'll see. Matthew Vernon, can you give a shout out to my brother? Who's your brother, dude? Kane O'Donnell says, fly a bigger plane. Good evening, Murphy. Nice way to end the stream. Yeah, I've already said that. See, I'm repeating myself now. Let's see. Okay. No, it's a 4-place aircraft. All right. Jup Van Broekelen says it's 11 a.m. where I live. Nice. Well, happy 11 a.m. Okay, so park and brake coming off. I'm going to spin over here to the right-hand side. Try not to crash into anyone there, Murph. It's a busy taxiway. Now, guys, don't wait for me. I tend to be the one leading the pack, so I wouldn't mind kind of in the middle or in the back somewhere if you guys want to work away. I'd say the likes of Daza and the Colonel. This is your neck of the woods after all, as in this continent. Billy says, how do we do game tags? If you go into options, general, data, or no, sorry, traffic, you can check it out from in there. It's a total gridlock going on here, bye. Okay, we're probably just waiting for one or two more guys to taxi on up. Okay, the Daza is going for it. This is going to be nuts. You've seen it here first. Okay, guys, just us four. We all ready? Let's boogie. Power set, airspeed is alive. Keeping your side of the bed here, Murphy. Andy Beeston UK is here. Hello, Andy. Murphy, keep to your side of the bed. There's 60 knots. And we're airborne. Raiden is here. He says, where are we at? We're over Block Island, Long Island, kind of just south of Boston and kind of east of New York. %, Andy. We'll hang around for you. Okay, so that was a bit of a crazy departure. We're doing good. The rest of the guys are going to break off to the right here now shortly. I'm just going to do one lap of the field as we're waiting for Andy. Coming up on 700 feet. We continue our climb here. A little bit bumpy. And we can hang on for you if you want. Like, if you're going to be like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. But if not, you can join us further up the road. If you want to have a look at maybe... where are we going to be over? Logan, I suppose. It looks epic. Now, just bear with me, guys. I'm going to like pause in the middle of the sky because I need to turn these things off because they wreck my head. So, traffic off, apply save, back, resume. Carnage. Everyone who was behind me are now in front of me. Okay, we shan't worry. I'm going to make a left turn here. New heading, probably 180 as we fly around Block Island. Going to continue to pick up some altitude. I'm going to look for 3,000 feet. We're looking a little bit better now, so we're heading on 180 degrees. Climb rate of about 500 feet per minute, passing 1,500 feet. And the dudes are all starting to form up. I ended up in the front again. How did that happen? Big Fat Swamper says, I was never in America before, but it was in some state. Skyfly says, I can't open the game store. It says I need a new app. Okay, try and update the app. And see what happens there, if that works. Okay, new heading. It's going to be 090, turning left, heading east. As we continue our climb up to 3,000. Once we kind of come in line with our magenta line, I'm going to resume the GPS system on our navigation. And it'll be a left turn as we fly over the field. Okay, so down to our autopilot. Luda says, can you fly a little bit slower? I surely will. Once we get to 3,000 feet, we'll calm it all down. So nav mode is selected on our autopilot. We're going to go to altitude mode here as well. For 3,000 feet. Come back, you slitter. And we'll V-speed it by 500. So we're in GPS mode. Plane is just doing its thing to get us back onto the magenta line. Keane says, it wouldn't be a two-tone Murphy stream without the quote, that neck of the woods. Brayden says, it looks like Craggy Island. Luda says, I'm going to hand fly it, no autopilot. Scott White said he's in an S172 and he's slower and he'd be backing up. Okay, we should be looking a bit better now, I would think. Yes, we are. This looks decent. Aiden Darley says, do you have any information on the Xbox version? Not yet, my dude. Still waiting to hear. Skyfly says, got it working now. I was typing on the wrong keyboard and I was wondering why nothing was happening. Hotmania is now hosting with 9 viewers. Many thanks, Hotmania, and welcome everyone from Hotch's stream. Hope you guys had a great stream tonight. You're all very welcome aboard here on this Wednesday. We've just taken off from Block Island. If you guys want to join in, we're on the North Europe server. And we're making our way up to Beverly Regional, up in Boston. I really appreciate the host, man. Thank you so much. Hope you're keeping well. Wesley Harford says, Murph, where can we join you? So, let me see. Let's have a look up here. Well, there's Beverly, so anywhere between Block Island and Beverly. Now, you have Logan Airport here, which is huge, but there are a number of airports down this neck of the woods. Kilo Echo Whiskey Bravo. Kilo Tango Alpha November. Oh, here's one. So, have a look at the screen here. Lazar IDK says, oh, you're looking at the US. Yes, we are. And it looks amazing. It's the East Coast. There are airports all over the place. Wetco says, good stuff. I live 30 minutes south of Boston. Cool. Luna says, you're already 3 miles in front of me. Okay, we'll slow it right down. Okay, guys, we're at 3,000 feet. I'm going to bring my speed back down to about 110 knots. Get ourselves leaned out here. Yep, there's always one or two. Matt Steve says, could do with this weather and leash. That is Boston. I love the Boston accent, it's amazing. Welcome to Boston. Only Cessna 152 power here. That's okay, we'll try and slow it down for you. Like, I'm at 90 knots, so that's as good as it's going to get. Pat PC says, are you getting any next-gen consoles? I'm kind of okay on consoles for a while. Like, I have a PS4. I used to have the Xbox One and I ditched it because it didn't want to do anything but update. I actually went out and bought a PS4 when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I kind of like it. I like the PlayStation. PlayStation is a good old console. I just use my PC now for gaming. Like, the PlayStation kind of gathers dust every now and again. Matt Steve says, that upside down plane looks like he's auditioning for Ryanair. Jay Baker says, it's not the Boston accent, it's just a bunch of people say words wrong. And with that, all the Bostonians are like, what did he say? X-Ray says, what's your favourite airline to fly with? Ooh. I flew with Continental many years ago. I flew with, obviously, Aer Lingus. I've flown with Etihad. New Zealand Air, or Air New Zealand, they would probably be my absolute favourite. They really know how to treat you well. Stuart Payne is here. He asks, what's the destination? We're heading up to Beverly. That's Kilo Bravo Victor Yankee. Kenneth Naughton says, at this rate, we could always have our own tea party. Lazari DK, is it Lazar IDK or Lazaret K? I hate when I pronounce names wrong because I say you're just sitting there going, ah, this guy. Lazar IDK or Lozar IDK. Lozar IDK. Good evening to you. Where have I been so far? In real life or in the sim? Hot PC says, were you always into planes or just new Flight Simulator? I've always been into planes. I grew up on an airbase of all places. Born and raised for 18 years, from the age 0 to 18. In the sim, where have I been to in the sim? A lot of Ireland has been covered, a lot of the UK, parts of France, Spain, Italy, Portugal. I was down to Dubai and what's that place called? Bahrain. I was down to New Zealand, a little bit of Australia, a little bit of the United States on the west and east coast. Air New Zealand has nice looking jets. My brother in Australia flew with them before. He loves them. He just hates China Airlines. China. Yeah, Air New Zealand is really nice. I really like them. Where have I been to the US? Okay, so I've been in Manhattan tonight. We were over at Las Vegas there kind of last week. I've flown up around Michigan, up by KMBS. Flown around Seattle a little bit. I want to go down kind of Texas neck of the woods. I've flown around Florida, Miami, New Smyrna Beach, went up to Daytona. Very much only starting to discover the US though, so we're early days yet. What do you recommend to play the sim? PC, Xbox or PlayStation? Asks Peter Burns. Hello Peter Burns. At the moment it's only available on the PC. I doubt it'll ever get over to PlayStation, but the Xbox are due to release it in the coming weeks or months. For me, I like it on the PC, but it depends entirely on your budget. You need to invest relatively heavily on a decent PC to get a certain bang for buck, if you will. So if you're on a budget, I would recommend the Xbox. I think it's going to work just fine. Aidan Darley says, I have a challenge for you. Land on Everest with a cub. Andrew Collier says, finished building my new PC tonight. Flight sim installed. Now have to wait a few weeks to get GPU. Probably the 3080. Nice. Loving the streams. I can't wait to join in. Thanks a million, Andrew. Best of luck with the new PC, dude. It sounds like a serious rig. Wesley Hadford says, would you ever consider getting your license? Yes, 100%. I have a couple of hours in a Cessna 172. It's most certainly an endeavour I want to complete over the next period of time. That's kind of where this channel came from, or my idea of this channel, whereby I would very much like to bridge the gap between simulation and real-world flying. So our adventure has started in the simulation, whereby we're kind of in exploration mode at the minute, but certainly over the coming weeks and months I want to get into kind of tutorials and using ATC and flying some kind of real world procedures, and then depending on the financial situation I'll have a look at some real world flying. As Peter Burns has just subscribed, many thanks Peter. Happy Wednesday, dude. Hope you're having a nice one. Yeah, so there is a little bit of a financial wall to climb over in terms of getting your PPL or your private pilot license. In Ireland it's anywhere between kind of 8 to 15,000 euros, somewhere in between. 10.5 or 11 is probably where it's going to land. But I've spoken to a number of flight schools already, and I want to document as much as I possibly can. Obviously you can't do everything, but certainly I want to be able to put a camera up, I don't know, a GoPro or a couple of GoPros. And the first thing I want to do is obviously going to be a discovery flight and bring you guys along for the spin and have the pilot kind of explain the real world differences between the sim and the real world, which is basically going to be the load bearing, if you like, the feeling the forces on the yoke, whereby the sim you can't feel the force, you can't feel the aircraft trying to fly, and they're very similar. You might think this is mad, but it's very similar to a boat. It's not an instant maneuver. You kind of have to flow through the air. It's interesting, but that's what I want to do. So I hope that answers your question. Bartman 7490 is here. How's it going, Bartman? Hope you're keeping well, dude. Keen Leffert says, this may sound like a stupid question, but if you can fly a plane in this, are you qualified to fly a plane in real life? Not a stupid question. Legally, no. Using simulators, and if you utilize the simulator as much to make it as close to the real world counterpart, it'll definitely give you an advantage in terms of, you know, voice procedure for ATC, navigation, and how to follow your procedures. The only thing the sims can't replicate is the physical load bearing of the aircraft. Now, in saying that, there are some FAA approved simulators that will count as 0 hour time or frozen time, I think. Is that a safe way of saying it? It's kind of like instrument time to keep you. It's all to do with like instrument currency. You have to build up X amount of hours to stay current. But I do believe there are some in the United States that allow simulation time to contribute towards your actual real world time, but they have to be approved by the Aviation Authority. Scott says, if you come to Texas, give us a shout. I'm in North Texas. Nice. I want to take off from where Aviation 101 flies from. So that's going to be out of... Where's he fly from? San Marcos and San Antonio. So I want to go from there and then head kind of north. If that's near or half near where you are, Scott. Ian asks, whereabouts are we? We're just flying... What's this airport here? We're just coming up past this airport. Kilo Oscar Quebec uniform. We're roughly 40 minutes away from Beverly. Oh man. Look at all this stuff. Jake Body says, I live in Seattle. Cool. Crash Organism is here. He says, at Tutor Murphy, hello from the Isle of Man. Is it worth paying the 100 odd quid for the full package of this game? If you have it, yes, it is worth it. Kieran says, go to West Texas town of El Paso. The Cub can't get that high for Everest. I don't think so. Matt Steve says, had a bad experience with Jetstar, the Australians equivalent to Ryanair. Had a bad experience going to Brisbane to Bali. Crash says, this looks fantastic. Scott says, just take a vacation in the US and it's cheaper. Figure 45 hours at minimum, that's just the norm. Yeah, I've absolutely thought of that, just doing, you know, a 3-week vacation in the US to get my PPL. Probably where it's going to land. In the US, that is. Ed Darley says, yes, we want to see you get your license so we can see your neck of the woods from a bird's eye view in real life. Cool. I shall work on that. Christopher Chen is here. He said, how's the wolf pack? We're doing good. Scott says, did you hear the Honeycomb just got FAA certification for the yoke to be used in legal flight sims? No, that's fantastic news. Ludus has finally caught up with us. I think we'll maintain the speed. I think it's kind of low and slow and we're just kind of chilled out. You can also use it for some instrument training with an instructor. Nice. It's 5 hours south of me. Okay. Texas is huge, like, it's massive. Go to Maine. People always go to the popular states, but Maine is really good. Look at the same, and in some cases better. Cool. Wesley says, just took off. I'm in front of you guys. We'll rendezvous soon. The Chasman says, was credited for 2 hours flying in the F-18 Hornet in Beaufort, South Carolina, which I was able to land it with directions from the control room. Sweet. F-14 or F-18 Hornet simulator. Pat PC says, can you go to Care in County Tipperary? We can, not tonight, but soon. Awesome Pilot Michael says, hey, I'm close to San Marcos, about 20 miles. Sweet. Massive says, get an S10 Plus, stick to an airplane window for recording on an airline. It's just as good as a GoPro camera because it records in 4K 60. Nice. Make sure you have the seat all to yourself though. I expect that they're going to work towards certification for the throttle also. That'd be sweet. Texas is the largest state in the US. It's known as the Lone Star State. Nice one, Kieran. Philip Breen says, I had to bail, just not in the mood to fly tonight. Happy to sit back and watch the stream. That's okay, Philip. Keane says, what edition of the sim do you own? I think I asked before. This is the Premium Deluxe. Saying in Texas, the sun has riz and the sun is set. We haven't gotten out of Texas yet. Donald Miller is here. Just dropped by to say hello. Flight looks fun. On my way to work. Nice one, Donald. Happy Wednesday to you, dude. It's off the hook. We have some really, really tidy flying here with a couple of Cessnas. We have Dazza over here in the corner. I said that's the Colonel here behind us. Some really nice flying. Donald says, yes, it's my Friday. Happy Friday, dude. Your weekend is here. Crash says this game is going to get a lot of people buying RTX cards. But they haven't even implemented RTX in this. There's no ray tracing, which is crazy. Many thanks for the follow, Lazar. You're very welcome, dude. Glad to see that you're enjoying tonight's stream. IDK Video Applause has just subscribed. Many thanks, my dude. Happy Wednesday. IDK Videos is me, by the way. That's okay. Just wanted to see your streams and vids if you have any. Yeah, I've got a couple of videos there if you want to check them out, dude. Scott White has donated $10. He says, forgot to send you your notifications for the evening. Here's his super computer soon. Scott, many thanks. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, dude. There's actually a pair of legs coming out of that Cessna. What? That's awkward. Want to beam up. Energize. He's gone. That's hilarious. Four-legged Cessna. That plane is like really happy to be here. Geek Bernie says, what airport are you heading to? We're heading up to Beverly, which is Kilo Bravo Victor Yankee, just north of Boston. Cody Hall is here. Glad to see y'all. I'm making space for deliveries and should be in the air soon. Cool. Gotta go, have a great flight. Donald, you have a great Friday. Have a great day at work, dude. We'll catch you on the next one. Keen Lafford says, a few streams ago, it was the Yellow Canaries. Tonight, it's the White Falcons. As J Baker 88 has just subscribed. Many thanks, my dude. Don't forget, guys, if you're new here and you like this content, Cody Hall has just subscribed. Many thanks, Cody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow if you like this content, that is. Did you bring your grog along? Sticky Rice is here. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic and pleasant flight. P.S. Sorry I can't fly with you guys. I'm at work. That's okay, my dude. I hope you're having a good day at work. Many thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it, dude. Leslie Harper says, I caught up on the mighty D40. This scenery is beautiful here. All golf courses and stuff. Mr. Chippy says, I'm enjoying watching lovely kittens' aerobatics in front of me. Coconut Pete is here. Hello, Coconut Pete. He says, has anyone noticed the lack of palm trees in tropical areas? Can't say that I have. Billy Road says, 4. Matt Steve says, looks too similar to Ireland with so much greenery. I know, right? Then it says, could it be possible that we split up into 2 groups? Can't see myself on the stream. Let's see if we can do 2 groups. So if we have I don't know, let's see, can we keep all the Cessnas as you're looking at my screen, or if you're in a Cessna, keep all the Cessnas on the left hand side, and everything else, let's throw them on the right hand side. What do you think, guys? Let's see how that goes. Ryan Straight says, game needs a Spitfire, a P-51 and a 0. Squawk Mode Charlie is here. How many sites are we visiting? Well, we took off from Essex County. We flew over Manhattan, saw a whole load of cool stuff there. Then we flew out to Block Island, and now we're going to head up north to Beverly, just north of Boston, or Baston. And that'll be it for this evening. You realise it's sightseeing, not sightseeing. Oh no! Really? Did that just happen? Yep. That's how I roll. Edit stream info. Sightseeing. For those who just couldn't figure it out. Now, how do we change it over here? I'll have to change it on YouTube later. Edit video, maybe? Will this break it? It's doing something. Save. Changes are saved, it says. I think that worked. Sightseeing USA. Because Murphy was a great speller, he won every spelling competition there was back in the late unpleasantness.
Hey, good money.
As Pat PC10 just subscribed. Many thanks, Pat. Squawk Mug Charlie says, we're looking forward to seeing a few caravans. Gnash 555 is here. How's it going, dude? Squawk Mode Charlie was saying he's looking forward to seeing the car. We won't go there, right? Now it's fixed. And we kind of have Cessnas on one side, except for him, and one Cessna over here, so you guys need a swap. But apart from that, it's looking awesome. Gabriel Dillon is here. Hi Murph, late as usual. Hi all. That's okay, Gabriel. Stuart Payne says spawning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't be shy with the map. They're just about over my house. Cool. So from Block Island, heading up towards Boston. That's where we're going. Don't tell everyone I'm trying to be inconspicuous. Gnash 555, that's okay, my dude. King Never says, I meant to ask you this at the start of the stream. On the last stream you did, it ended up in 2 parts, but the stream itself was all one piece. Yeah, the internet decided to have a laugh at me and like stop. But I kind of kept it together for the remainder. Chasman says, I hope multi-crew, Plan G and HOA aircraft is added soon. Yes. Echo India says, you may be 2,000 feet over Boston, but the TV license inspector will still find you. He has a very particular set of skills. Skills that make him a nightmare for people like us. If we pay the license now, he won't pursue us. If you don't, he will find us. Gabriel Dillon asks, Murph, do you think the new RTX cards will make a major difference to Microsoft Flight Sim? The 3000 series, I would think so, yes. Brian K asks, what server are we on? We are on the North Europe server. Okay, let's check out the madness behind us, shall we? It's looking kind of nice here, fellas. Jay Baker, TV license inspector, do you guys get taxed for TVs? We get taxed if we get enough sunshine during the year. We get taxed if you smile. We get taxed if you whistle. We don't really, but we do have to pay a TV license. Ouch, no wonder you're flying in the USA. I know, right? Take a chance here. Where are you flying over right now? We're nearly at Boston. Let's have a look at our little map here. So here be Boston. And here be Block Island. So we're kind of right here. It looks like a beehive of C-172s. Yes, it does. So we're going to get Boston loading in here very shortly. Definitely a place I want to visit in the real world. As we have some tasty flying over here. So quick check on everything here. Fuel pressure and fuel quantities are all okay. EGT is fine. Fuel flow is good. Our T's and P's are in the green. Vacuum and amps are all good. Ryan K says updates. So we should have Boston appearing on the horizon shortly. It should look fairly decent. Ludo says, what's your name in the flight sim? D Two-Tone Murphy, all uppercase. D as in D for Delta. Two-Tone Murphy, all letters. Does this thing actually work? Let's see. Is it 12.5 or 125? Let's see if that moves after a while, shall we? Soup. I was reading somewhere as well that Pilatus, that's a TBM, but Pilatus sent a message to someone saying that there will soon be Pilatus available in Microsoft Flight Sim. They didn't say any more than that. They didn't say who was making or developing for them. They just said there soon will be Pilatus in the sim. Waitco says, you just flew over Mansfield Airport. That was crazy. Cool. 4X Irish is here. Good evening to you. Happy Wednesday, dude. Why does America look greener than Ireland? Parts of it do. Walton's Microsoft Pilates Simulator. Our group flight is going very well. We have a number of Cessna 172s. That looks like a DA-40. There's another Cessna. There's a TBM. They're cutting it mighty fine. We're starting to see Boston now on the horizon. Daniel Keaton says, been to Logan before, wonderful airport to approach, landed after Sunday approach on 22 right. Nice. Yeah, no, there are there's so many places in the States I want to see, but in terms of urgency, I really want to visit kind of the Boston neck of the woods. I really want to visit Texas. I want to visit Michigan. I want to get out to California. And Florida. So hopefully when the world returns to some sort of normality, we'll get the chance. Waitco says, you're basically looking at my house in this view. Cool. Crash Organism asks, curious if FS Economy works with this. It does. Cop Slayer says, meet you at K-Boss with a P51. Sounds good. Wesley Hartford says, is there a way to see other players' liveries? I think you need to have the liveries installed and they should work. I haven't installed them yet. I'll probably get around to it maybe tomorrow or the next day. So we shall wait and see. Spartan 300 is here. I'm downloading right now. Good evening, Spartan. Hope you're keeping well, dude. Happy Wednesday. Take a Chance says, Michigan is real nice. Lived in Florida for a bit too. Tons of stuff to do there. I'd love to go to Oshkosh. Like, that's a bucket list for me. Just to go out to an air show, like, bring a tent, stay a couple of nights, and just kind of meander around. Spartan says, On Air is a good career mode. I need to check that one out. Time Lord flight on the way. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you're keeping well. The leg is back. And there's another one. Okay, so this is really strange, gents. You have legs coming out of your Cessnas. It has grown an appendage. That's definitely a new bug. So it's running kind of good, but it has new bugs whereby you can see the legs of people. So apart from that, it's running quite good. That's a nice shot. A TBM doing its thing. We got a Cessna doing its thing. Karen says San Francisco fantastic and New Orleans. Walton's asked, have you done Iceland Greenland yet, Murph? I tried one of the very northern airports earlier and just kept getting game crashes. Oh, that sucks, dude. I must check it out. Flintstone planes. Brilliant. I think those legs are pushback drivers who got run over. It's just Tom Cruise doing a few stunts. Yes, it is. Scott says, Osh is the mecca for the pilot. Loved going there. Need to do it again. Oh man, I'd say it was just epic. Brian K says, Oshkosh and Appleton are modelled beautifully in FS 2020. Cool. Stephen Coughlin says, should be spawning ahead of you now. Mr. Chippy, I like what you've done there. He's on base leg. Now the question has to be asked, are you guys using custom liveries? Hello. Because I wonder, is it a glitch if you're using a custom livery? Okay, quick sit rep. This is Boston Logan Airport. We have the main city centre of Boston, or downtown. We have a nice image here of a Cessna and a DA out our left hand side. Got a Cessna ahead of us. And out our right hand side we have, oh, that looks pretty, I do believe, is that Daza? Andy Murphy's here, he says, go to LEX, there's a guy flying around with a jetpack. I heard that, man. It's crazy. Well, O'Reilly is here. Well, man, I'm considering changing from PlayStation to Xbox just to play this game. Do you think it'd be worth the switch? I'm amazed with the game's graphics. I think it would be. I don't see this coming to PlayStation. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. And just to experience this level of exploration, it's going to be worth it. It's the most chilled out, relaxed, easygoing sim or game, depending on your persuasion. At the moment, it's somewhere between a game and a sim. They've a bit more work to do to make it kind of a fully fledged simulator. The weather is excellent. That's giving it, you know, massive points when it works. The view to the west is very realistic. I agree. The FBI are looking for him now. So, like, that was just a dude on a jetpack having the crack. Andy Murphy says, I'm from Boston. Sweet, dude. Wesley said, oof, rest in peace, Frames. So Blackula says, I'm using the two-tone one. That would be typical. And a pair of legs hanging out of the bottom of it. Now, I know I didn't see you invisible on my screen. Aw, dude. I will intercept that gaggle after the patch download, says Spartan. It was just Elon Musk testing out an Iron Man suit. Probably. So we're coming up over Boston. It looks really nice. The guy in the lawn chair with weather balloons will probably never be topped out. Was that in LAX as well? Ken Naughton says, do the legs have wellies on feet? Do they have wellies on their feet? I don't know. The Flintstone aircraft. But apart from that, it's really nice. Yeah, that was also in LAX. What is with LAX and the crazy people? Dangerous Brain says, wellies are only visible on the seaplane. What do you guys in the States call wellies? They're like, you know, rubber boots or Wellington boots. Do you call them Wellington boots or just boots? There was also Balloon Boy, says Jay Baker. Scott says it's in Southern California. Rubber boots. Rain boots. Yeah, okay. Over this neck of the woods, we call them wellies. And if you're from Scotland and you try and say wellies, you want to be careful. Hey, pair of wellies. It's like when you ask people from New Zealand to say deck, as in D-E-C-K, as in like a decking. I won't do it here, but try it yourselves. Replace the E with an I. Just boots or rubber boots, rain boots. Okay. Jeloshes? Scott says, boots, however, I have enough friends from the UK that I call them wellies too. Water sneakers. Okay, we're about 12.5 nautical miles away from Beverly as we're flying directly over Boston Logan. They would be freaking out with this site right now. Oh, the simulated horror. Sure says, not sure what server you're on, bro, but not showing on mine. Ah. It should be on the North Europe one. Okay guys, what I want to do tonight is something a little bit different. I'm going to go to land first. And the reason I'm going to land first, once I get landed on the ground, I'll then report back to you guys in the air and then tell you lot to start landing. Because I can use the drone camera and we'll all sit back and enjoy either a smooth margarine type buttery landing or a sack of spuds going straight into the ground like a dart. What do you reckon? I think that is a good plan. The Colonel says good plan. So just to reiterate, I'm going to land first. I'll shut down the aircraft and the whole lot. Then I'm going to go into drone camera. Then I'll let you guys know that the airfield is technically open for landing. And we'll try and time it. Then we can watch all the landings. The Axeman of New Orleans is here. He says, did you hear about the jetpack dude? Yeah, we're just talking about it, man. Crazy stuff. The guys reckon it was Elon Musk trying out the Iron Man costume. Okay, so we have a bit of a plan. I love it when a plan comes together. Look at that for a view, that's epic. Mr. Chippy says, I'll be a buttered baked potato. Dazza says, I'll be the sack of spuds. Gabriel Dillon says, come on lads, smash the like button if you're having the crack. Jay Baker says, we get to watch some Air Force Proud type landings. As Take a Chance is now following on Twitch. Many thanks, my dude. I appreciate the follow and the support. Yeah, I wonder what will make contact first. Will it be the pair of legs dangling or will it be the actual landing gear? That'll be interesting. Maximum bonus points if you can get the actual legs to hit the ground before the landing gear. Lida says, I'm going to reload my sim so you can watch at least my landing. I think I should be able to see it, dude. That is not that often, Murphy, with your plans. Murphy never has plans. Mark Intella says, hey Murph, I have the EMTs on standby. The only medical apparatus we're going to need is a shovel and a bucket. And empty jam jars, because you'd be scooped up and placed into a jam jar. Murphy's Law. Remember guys, Murphy's Law. The light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. Or my favourite, Murphy's Law, never play leapfrog with a unicorn. That's sound advice, you've heard it here first. I say that looks like Beverly ahead. So, what's the easiest way to land and just get on the ground? We're going to use this runway as our approach, which is runway 16, I think. So I'm just going to venture my way out here now. Heading mode, please. And we can go down to about 1,500 feet. Now, if you guys want to hold the pattern, i.e. fly to the right of the airfield and just circle around, maintain about 2,500 feet. So when you turn right at the airfield, this is called a pattern. You would fly for approximately 3 minutes at about 100 knots and make a left turn after every 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll be turning by 90 degrees each turn. That means you should do a full square around the airfield, also known as a pattern. Keane says, obviously you don't remember the landing on the night of chasing Storm Helen. That was sweet. Airport code is Kilo Bravo Victor Yankee. Let me think. We can go this way or this way. Where's the sun at? Yeah, we'll go for the next one. Captain Frank is here. Good evening to you, Frank. Hope you're keeping well. All is well here, my friend. Just about to do a quick landing here over in Beverly Regional. We took off tonight from Essex County, headed over Manhattan, then over to a place called Block Island, and now we're heading up to Beverly. So what's happening now is I'm going to land first, park up my little machine right around here, turn on the drone camera, then signal to all the fellas. There's a group of them going over there with their pattern. You guys currently with me, if you want to make a right turn by 90 degrees. And I'm going to use the drone camera to watch all your landings. Yankee as in Yankee Candle, yes, Yankee. Billy Wall says, can I do a formation with you? I'm behind you. Yeah, why not, sure. Right turn here, Murphy. So about there. Who just wants to do a formation landing again? Sure. Now try and space out the landings. I don't want to have like 2 or 3 guys landing in together. Otherwise it'll just be painful. We won't know who messes up. Hungstart says, Cats Raider flies out here, I think. He does. I do believe this is one of his local airports. That's how I found it. He mentioned it before, and he has a real world video where he flies out of here. And he fired it up on the sim before, and I watched the video, and it's a really nice airfield. Like, it looks super. Philip says, bring a digger. Bring a digger, rather. It'll fill in the holes easier. Okay, autopilot coming off. I'm going to start my right-hand turn. Bring our throttle back here. Speed is coming down. Altitude is coming down. Runway in sight. Russ Bucket says, recommended you look up Air Force Proud. He's hilarious. Yeah, watch him. He is hilarious. Turn our face cam on for, well, dramatic effect, of course. Little sip of the stuff. I picked the wrong week to give up drinking. Spartan says, what's a dinger? It's like a digger. So let's have a look here. I'm on my own, okay. Slightly above the glide slope, but that's okay. First notch of flaps. Get yourself back in the outline there, Murph. There's someone beside me. So I'll be the gentleman, I'll keep to the right, you keep to the left. Second notch of flaps. I want to keep right of the center line. Move over in the bed there, Murph. Bring our throttle back to 0. Hold the nose up here. Just let the speed bleed off a bit. Contact on the back. Contact on the front. We down. I'm going to take the next exit up here on the right hand side. Flaps coming back in. Cool. Get myself parked up here now. Over by yonder forklift. This is going to be either epic. It'll be epic no matter what happens. It'll be epic fail or epic win. Okay, parking brake comes on. Bear with me now, guys. I reckon in a couple of minutes we're going to be good to go here. Let's see here. Transponder can come to off. Get our strobes, taxi and landing lights off. Avionics can now come off. Mixture out. Battery off. Super. Okay. What's going to happen here? So we're going to get ourselves lined up so we can see the runway, which will be over this way. Now, hang on. Turn up the speed here. The drone speed needs to come up, and the drone rotation speed. What's that like? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Right, guys. So runway 16 is open. Oh, there's someone going for it already. Okay, hang on. No one else land for a minute. Bear with me. I got to turn these things back on so we know who it is. Traffic. And yes. And apply and save and go back and resume. Okay. So the airfield is now open. Have you some cringe-worthy music? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. The airfield is open. One at a time, please.
Hey, good morning.
As Minty 3D PN is now following. Many thanks, Minty. Rate the formation. No pressure, fellas. Oh, yeah. Andy Henderson asked a good question. My response is copyright. Okay, so who have we got in at first? We have the Drummist 88 appears to be first. Keep your spacing, fellas. He's coming in hot. Have you a landing gear? Okay, without the landing gear, but it still looked pretty good. Next up.
Hey, good morning.
Crash Organism is now following. Many thanks, dude. We have Brunlee coming in at around 867 feet. Try and keep the spacing, guys. I'll try and get closer so we can really see. The drummer says, in my defense, the landing gear was down. That's okay, dude. We believe you. As it would appear that Brunlee is coming in next in a Cessna 172. Mark says, hey Murph, for that music, I feel like the runway's a mosh pit. It's probably a little bit overkill. Rate of descent is looking good here from Brunlee. He lines up for the approach. He's over the center line. Little bit of a float. And he's down. Nice, 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 nice. We have Daza T Arab coming in now. Be quiet, music. That was really loud and painful. Let's go for something a little bit less kind of, you know, as we'll watch Daza coming in. As Stalker seems to be a jump at the queue here. Nosedive. Oh, oh, oh. And he's down. Okay, we got Daza, I think, coming in next. Mind your spacing, fellas. Nicely done, Dazza. Nicely done. A tip of the hat to you, sir. Billy Walsh says, we had a nice landing there, Murphy. Information. Nice. The drummer says, on the other hand, does anyone know a good panel beater? So we have Grolly coming in. No diggers were harmed in the making of the stream. Okay, we got two guys coming in very close. Grolly's looking good. Sir Blackie Lot is right behind. Little bit of a float, but they're down. Nicely done, fellas. Sensitive boutons here. Murph, are they going to use the brakes? Or use the legs to stop? I reckon there'll be enough kind of leverage to flip the plane over. Okay, who's next? We have Ludo is coming in next. And then we have the Colonel coming in just behind. An Cessna 152, it looks like. Nicely done. On the center line and all. Very nice. Colonel Fork is next in, it looks like. Maybe. Maybe not. There's a load of them left. Most of the landings have been decent. I will give them that. There's three guys coming in together. This is going to look epic. Here comes Chippy. Looking decent, looking decent. Yes. Nicely done. Nice work from Chippy. As my iPad makes noises in the background. Next up is Six Pack Pilot in a DA40. Looking nice, looking very nice on the center line. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Nicely done. M4D. A little bit of a float, but we'll take it. I'd say you'd pass with the red arrows. Guinness lover. Rip. So Guinness lover, you're living up to your name. Get the digger. He needs it. Okay, so we have SD Bama coming in. Approach is nice. Approach is nice. Pair of legs dangling down. Will the legs hit? Will the legs hit? Will the legs hit? The legs have hit! Painful. Okay, who have we left? These landings are pure butter. They really are. Finally a replay mode, yeah. Too bad about the guy operating the camera, though. Guinness lover has... careful. Get out the way. You have Assassin Slayer coming in. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Good speed out of Cessna with a pair of legs dangling down. Oh, get out of the grass, Murph. He's floating it. He's floating it. Oh! And he's down. The pair of legs were just burst back inside the airplane. I stalled. Stephen Coughlin, that's quite okay. You have time to do a quick lap and fly back around again if you want. So Colonel Fork is now inbound. You are clear to land. Runway 16, wind 4 knots. Bearing 260. Number 1 for landing. The drumist is up in some sort of a Boeing. Who else has gone around? Omni Slash is there in an A320, as you do. Okay, let's check out the Colonel here, shall we? Yabba dabba doo. Caution, wake turbulence from departing Cessna 172. Here comes the Colonel. It's looking good. He's on the centre line. It's all business today. Flaring nicely. Oh, butter smooth. Butter smooth. Margarine. The runway didn't even know something landed on it. Nicely done, my friend. So the drumist is up there. Are you going to try and chug it in? Chance the guy is coming in hot in a Cessna 172. Chance the guy. Not sure why half of us aren't visible to me or you. This sucks if they're not all visible. I would hate to think that there's like a whole load of other guys that were just like missed, rather. Let's do a quick pan around here. The ramp is fairly busy. So it looks like our last landing for this evening is going to be Chance the Guy. No pressure, dude. We're all watching you. Yeah, they could be on a different server. That could be the case. I got some toast for that butter. The plaque for the alternate is down in the ladies' room. Okay, Chance. No pressure, dude. Ah, that's a pity, Stuart. Here comes Chance. Aiming for the centre line. And he's down! There was intent in that one. He really wanted to put that on the ground. Nicely done. And, oh, Shark is coming in here with a DA-40. Now, we've a 747 trying to come down here as well, so this is going to be interesting. Who's going to win this race? We need to do some landing challenges like this. We really do. Good fun, Murph. Thank you. Keep running. No hassle, dude. This has been a blast. I'm just glad I got down. No one could see my landing, only from like inside. And oh yeah, it looked fine. I'd say if you're outside, it was just like... Here's something you don't see every day. You've no landing gear, dude. You've no landing gear. Abort, abort. As Shark comes in on the centre line-ish. Little bit of a bounce. Nicely done. Nicely, nicely done. Yous are all mad. Do you hear me? All of you. Pure, crazy and nuts. Well, I have to say, guys, that was a whole load of fun. As we have a look down at the multiple Cessnas parked up on the field. Guinness lover, that's just fantastic, man. Nosedive into the airfield. Scott says it was wake turbulence. The drummer says requesting permission for a flyby. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Well, guys, that was certainly a hoot. Our flight this evening Took off from Essex County over in New Jersey. We flew down to Manhattan. Checked out some of the sites. Correctly spelt, I might add. As I hit the microphone. We then headed over to Block Island. And from Block Island, we've rambled up here to the wonderful Beverly Regional Airport, just north of Boston, or Baston. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. Many thanks for joining me here on Wednesday. Don't forget, I stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Be sure to catch us over on Discord. If there's anything there we can help with, be sure to jump on in. Guys, thanks a million. That was great fun. I really enjoyed that. The simulated horror. I think some of the nicest landings there was... Well, Dazza did a super job. Sir Blackie Lot was a super job. Colonel Fork kind of stole the charm. But that's the story, lads. Away with you now. We'll catch you on Friday or on Discord. Until next time, take care. Thanks, guys. Good night.